Hey! Well, we're now live. Welcome to the Intellectual Wannabe podcast. We got our host here, Victor, musician, intellectual dummy, rapper, music producer, studying music at Ansgar University in Kristiansand. I shouldn't say all those information. Maybe the ops will take me, Bruh, bruh, bruh. And then my co-host here, you know him. You remember him, everybody?
Yes, Josteines is going to the same school, studying psychology, soon to have a master's degree. I'm writing that now, more or less. Also a philosopher not by trade, that would be wrong. By nature, yeah, that's true.
And we're the podcast talking about everything you need from society, life, philosophy, psychology, spiritualism, anything you like, religion. We talk about anything. And you're probably wondering why we are speaking English today, because we always have in Norwegian. But the reason for that is because we have an international guest over here. His name is Aaron Sumar. God damn it. Okay.
No, my name is Aaron. I'm from Ireland, so that's the reason we're speaking English. I do apologize, but I guess I don't speak Norwegian, so thank you guys for doing this. It's a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for coming, man. Imagine this guy took a plane to Norway just for this podcast. Wow.
I mostly came to see Victor, of course. Yeah, a close friend of mine. He was in college with me, and then I just wanted to see Norway. I've never been to Scandinavia before, so
really cool, man.
It's beautiful.
I'm really happy you came. It's really nice to see you.
No, of course.
I had a great time with you. Now it's too bad it's this last day together.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been till around. Well, no, because you're probably going to school.
Yeah, maybe I'll skip school. Who knows?
Yeah.
Depends on what I feel
I'll
like.
probably have to go at around 3:00 anyway. So
it depends. I'll probably skip. Who knows? And I'm too good. I'm too cool for school, anyways. And so I'm really happy he came. He's been enjoying Norway, haven't you?
Oh, it's stunning.
Yeah,
I love this country. To be honest,
tell me what's your impression of this country?
Well, definitely like. I mean, you wouldn't think it's a country of 5 million people only. It's very, very well organized. Beautiful nature and electric cars everywhere. I mean, I love. No, I mean, I'm a big car head, so I mean, that's something I notice, But I mean, you were telling me that Norway, in terms of how the cities are structured and how the architecture is, it's relatively new compared to like Sweden and. Denmark, and I definitely see that, but still, it looks very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we were in Oslo yesterday. Can you tell a little bit about Oslo?
Now, Oslo was something else. I really loved it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely freezing, as you know yourself. Like minus.
It was minus
15 degrees. Yeah,
degrees, man. Crazy. I was walking with my water bottle, and suddenly it just became ice. Yeah.
Oh, right. Because I actually saw someone making a video about explaining why that can happen in some cases where you can have a water bottle freeze instantly.
Yeah.
And then you do that by first it has actually 0 particles in it, but then you just shake it or disturb the water a little bit, and then there's a lot of particles, and then it freezes more quicker. So maybe something like that. Who knows? But yeah. And today it's absolutely the opposite.
Yeah, it's not too cold today, is it?
No, it's actually
it's horrible, but like in terms of the
6, 7, 8 degrees or something.
Oh,
so it's actually plus.
Okay.
I mean, today is more like it's a lot of as we call it in Norway, slud. Is that in English?
We call it slush.
Slush.
We call it slush. That's right. Slush.
Slush.
Wet snow, which can actually, I mean, I thought it'd be slightly better than kind of the black ice, but actually you lose your feet just as easily sometimes.
Yeah, it's very hard to stay on.
I mean, did you see me? I was like you and your man were walking way ahead, and I was kind of like, oh, no.
Yeah, he was slipping all the time, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Even yesterday we were walking, and he struggled to stay balanced in Oslo.
Oh yeah.
And there was some girls like looking at him what, like really strangely, and I was like, oh, he's from Ireland, and I was like,
yeah, for real. I mean, I don't know why they were. I mean, come on, man, anyone can slip. Jesus Christ.
But in Norway, you're not an elf if you slip in Norway.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, balance makes you alpha. That's right.
Yes.
A balanced life.
No, so me and Aaron, we go way back. Like we've been friends in college, in university, in UCD. It's called
Since 2017. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, since 2017, we've been friends. We met in the University College Dublin in Ireland, in Dublin.
Yeah, that's right.
And we both studied the same subject, politics and international relations.
That's right. Politics and international relations. I did French, and then you did philosophy.
I did philosophy as an what's it called? It's like a double degree, you know.
No, I mean, considering, we were in college, but also our paths did take different routes. I mean, you took a gap year. I was in second year. Yeah. Then on my third year, I went to Belgium, and you were in Dublin. And then I think my last year, you went to Norway, didn't you?
Yeah, unfortunately,
because everything was of the corona anyway. So
unfortunately, we only spent at school together. We only spent like one year actually.
1 year, yeah. I mean,
that was the first year.
That's right. That was the first year.
That's only the first. Yeah, and second year, I had my gap year, doing my shit. He was still in school. Yeah, I was working and shit. Yeah. And when I was in second year, he was in Belgium.
That was in Belgium. That's right. For
what were you doing in Belgium?
I applied to the School of Politics, so I actually just did political science in Belgium. Some modules through French, some through English. It was fun. It was a fun year, but it was cut short thanks to the whole lockdowns and COVID and everything like that. So I decided to come back. But I did my Erasmus, so thankfully now I have a BA International in French and politics. So
nice, good job, man. He's always been a good student.
Yeah, I tried my best. I was pretty bad in second year. I didn't do that well, but my final year was probably my best year, which is ironic because I wasn't in college at all.
yeah, because of Corona.
Yeah, that's
Corona. Yeah, no, I had my worst year last year because of the Corona. I think it just, I lost motivation.
Yeah.
Because of the Corona. My second year was the best actually, even if it was Corona. But I guess I was just, I don't know, more motivated and stuff. But I got a nice grade in the end. My what's it called? Snit. Average. My average was. I'm pretty okay with the average. I think it was like, what did I get? I don't remember. Like 2.8.
It's pretty good. Are you talking about?
GPA
in Ireland?
Yeah.
You said you got a 2.2.
Did I get 2.2?
Well, yeah, you got a 2.2 now. I don't know what exactly your.
I got
low?
No, that's low. No, I can't. No,
I got a 3.17, I think it was.
Yeah. No, I got 2.8. Yeah. Anyways, but that's so we study politics. We have a lot of interest in politics together.
That's right.
That's kind of how we hit it off. We started talking about politics because in when you go to universities, there's a lot of woke, political correctness type of people, and then we were kind of like the only one who was like anti-woke in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed that way.
It felt like that.
Yeah, it felt like that. That's for sure. I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm some kind of like I'm not complete.
Yeah.
I like to see myself as a reasonable person, but definitely some of it was like way too much, and we kind of hit it off because of that, which is pretty cool.
It's true. Like we were like, oh, look at all these lefties.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff we said was probably kind of cringe, kind of looking back.
Yeah, I mean, we were young,
I wasn't that young. I was 21.
Okay, you have no excuse. But I was, I was like 18, 21. So I was 18, new to the world, arrogant as fuck.
You were 18.
Yeah, I was 18.
Oh, yeah, but you were about to turn 19, I think that's what it was.
I became 19 in the semester.
No, actually, I think you mentioned before we started that I reached out to you. And I think I did, because I remember seeing you a few times when we were in the gym. And then I saw you at the Gallops Lewis stop, because remember you used to live near Centra.
Is that how you started talking?
So I was like, oh, man, are you in UCD?
Yeah,
and then
because we lived in the same neighborhood for a while.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, that's gas.
And then essentially, one time you came up to me, you were like, hey, man. Hey man, and then
I said that.
That's very
yeah. He was kind of walking like this. Hey man, looking at me like, I was kind of there like, oh hey.
He was like looking down. Oh hey, I didn't see you there.
And and then we started talking, and I remember my favorite phrase you had when we were talking about men and women, and all the kind of dynamics and everything. You were like, bro, there's the alpha males and the beta males. And I just remember that ever since, and I found it really funny.
I was so red-pilled at that moment.
Yeah.
I was watching a lot of the, what's it called, the social dark web.
Mhm.
Isn't that what they
Yeah,
call?
that's right.
They call like the swear with Joe Rogan,
Mhm.
Brett Weinstein, Eric Weinstein, Ben Shapiro,
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson,
Mhm.
that gang, you know,
Yeah, that's right.
Milo
Marianopolis. I mean, it's funny because it's funny though
Yeah.
because if you see
The
how
intellectual dark web.
Yeah,
That's what
sorry.
they call it.
Yeah.
He was a part of that. Milo was a part of it for a while. just-
Marianopolis. Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. Nah, he fell off. Never mind.
Yeah. No, I mean
Forget about
what's
him.
what's interesting is if you see how kind of right wing internet politics has evolved now,
Yeah.
there's kind of like there's a very strong kind of ethno nationalist movement kind of on these circles of the internet, and they actually very much attack people like Jordan Peterson
Yeah, who was more reasonable.
and Milo Yiannopoulos and Ben Shapiro because they're like, oh, you know, they're just kind of
Milo's
Zionist.
actually a bit of a. I think he's a bit too right, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, because they kind of say, oh, you know, he's too, you know, they call them cooks. They have these really stupid. They're pretty dumb, to be honest. Like conservatives and things like that.
conservatives.
Like, you know, oh, you know, they're all for Zionist Jews, and you know, all they
I
care
don't
about
like
is
those people.
individualism and capitalism, and
I don't like Zionism at all. No, but yeah, I remember it was very relevant in like around 2017, 18. I think maybe because that was like the peak moment of woke culture.
it was actually. It's kind of
Because-
died down now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's died a bit down. I feel like more and
little
more
bit.
people don't care about it anymore. Like more and more people are like, that's bullshit. You
Yeah.
know? You want to say something?
What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, the thing about woke is that I guess at that time when you went to the school in Ireland, it was growing up, so to speak, that directions. But at the moment, it's more and more people are actually realizing and seeing that it's actually breaking down stuff. Like, as they say, get woke, go broke. You've heard that, I assume. Yeah.
And is it the same in Norway? Actually, are people kind of paying attention to woke stuff as much as they used to? Or?
I'm not actually sure, to be honest, because it depends on if you trust what the media and television is presenting about it, or if you take the perspective of what the people around you are saying. And I'm not sure. I think to a lesser degree, but a little bit, because there's this pride stuff. There is pride, was and have been pride parades in Norway, so in part, if you will. But I think less. Yeah.
I mean, Norway would definitely. I mean, if you kind of look at the international kind of stats for human rights and individual freedoms, you know those very famous stats that kind of measure every country. The Scandinavian countries always kind of.
Victor's head is in.
They kind of always
Talking to him, and then your head is here.
alpha move. No, but I mean, if you kind of take all the kind of international kind of studies that kind of measure individual rights and freedoms, the Scandinavian countries always measure quite high. So I wouldn't be surprised that pride parades and everything like that are taken very seriously.
Yeah, by some. I'm not.
Well, by some, I mean, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really heard to it being celebrated too much other than in Oslo, to be honest.
That makes sense. Do you remember, Victor, on the place we had the kebab, there was the pride flag?
Yeah, it was a rainbow flag on the ground, you know. So like me and him, we were walking there, and suddenly we just became super gay.
Oh yeah, we were just talking like this. The reason I started doing that is because I've seen it on like social media. Like a guy would be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to the street to buy some milk, but it's going to be absolutely delicious, and I love it."
Yeah, that's why. Because I didn't know why he was talking like that. I didn't make the connection. Yeah.
Then you look down.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my god. No, but also in Haugesund too. Like this Pride stuff in Haugesund. It's been. I haven't even performed on the Pride stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I rapped. My songs, which is very strange because my songs is kind of like. Not that at all. Like it's aggressive and dark, and while Pride is all about you love positivity,
That's right.
freedom, accept everything.
yeah.
Well, I'm like, yeah, life's a bitch. And you just gotta suck my dick. Yeah. Okay, they like that part though.
It's true, probably. Yeah.
No, so that was funny. I even had like I painted my hair pink.
Suck some big black dicks.
Shut the fuck up, man. We gotta censor this guy, man. Get him out of here, man.
Yeah,
Get
right. You started it, dude.
Okay. Anyways, it's fine. We don't care. We don't care. We don't. You can speak freely here on this podcast.
No. I mean, that was just something I was going to say. I mean, that's not that harmful, is it?
No.
It's not that
It's a
bad at all.
compliment. It's a compliment. But anyways, I painted my hair pink, and I had rainbow flags on my cheeks. And the fun thing is that when we went out after that was here's the context as well. On that Pride Day, the whole of Norway opened up the lockdown. So the lockdown was finished.
Oh, really?
That was like the official day of the lockdown being finished. So it was basically like New Year's Eve, man. It was crazy. So I went out in the city after that Pride concert, and I went out, and so many guys were hitting on me, bro,
That's funny.
because of my pink hair
Yeah,
and the rainbow flag
that's funny.
on my cheek. Man,
That's so,
sometimes I'm like, man, this is how it feels to be a hot girl. I'm getting so much attention. I don't understand what they're complaining about. I like the attention.
I guess then that shows the differences in where you are and the environment or people you talk to during that when that happens. Because I didn't actually notice that much, but then again, I wasn't. And Etne is a small place, so there people were talking a little bit about it. But the most thing I saw is that they used the pride flags, but I don't know how much else was done, to be honest.
I mean, I would say Norway is very pro LGBTQ. I never heard anyone kind of criticize it. I mean, yeah, of course, there's some people here and there who doesn't like it, but it's not like a big movement of anti-LGBTQ stuff here.
yeah.
It's very pro. I would say Norway is probably one of the most pro LGBTQ.
More than Sweden or
countries.
Denmark, even.
Okay, maybe not more than Sweden. I mean, Sweden is next level.
Finland, even.
I would say it's more than Denmark and Finland.
Oh, really?
Denmark has always been kind of the conservative brother.
They are in a sense. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
In a way, yeah.
I feel like this is my interpretation of Scandinavia. Denmark, conservative, or not compared to the world, but compared to the Scandinavian countries, conservative. Sweden, very liberal, very maybe a bit too much, and then Norway is kind of that guy in the middle, the reasonable, the middleman, the reasonable guy.
Yeah,
in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
I remember you telling me that actually.
Yeah, and then Finland. I don't know about Finland. I mean,
Finland just doing its thing.
yeah, I mean, Finland is very liberal in many ways, actually. Yeah, because for example, the school system is very like open-minded. They have a very good school system there. Have you heard about that, Aaron?
No, never.
No, so in Finland they have a total different school system than they have in many other countries. For example, they teach kids, instead of teaching them in classrooms, they take them out in nature, show them leaves, show them plants. You know, instead of like, open up your book on page 67 and we're going to look at plants, pictures of plants. You know,
very good.
Like we
That's
do
great.
in Norway and Ireland and stuff. And they also, I don't know what more they do, but I just heard that they have a very different system. Do you know more about that, Jostein?
I read something about it a while ago. Can't say I remember the details too much, but they have a way better system in a way, in terms of results at least, because there's a lot of people that there's a lot of people, or they are referring to the good results they have in people, and people going to the schools there, they learn a lot and have high understandings of stuff. They also, I think they mix classes, so they don't have age restricted, so they can learn a little bit better from, and it's more
Interesting.
open in a way, so they encourage more learning from curiosity in how they do it.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, so it's not you're going to learn this because of this. They're more.
You just have you're going to learn it because you have to, essentially.
Yeah, that's how most schools do, but
exactly.
they are focusing more on actually utilizing the curiosity, if you will, in a way. But I don't remember exactly how.
That's actually a very important thing to do with kids, in my opinion, is to make them understand why the things they learn are useful.
Sure.
because my experience from school is that they never really explained us anything. It just feels like you learn this because you have to, you know. Like for example, nobody explained me why I should learn algebra, you know.
Yeah, because does anyone even use algebra here? at
Yeah.
all?
For example, like I mean, if you want to be an engineer, then you need physics and stuff. But like we use so much time on algebra, and like most people, like 90% of people, will never use algebra. Like I'll never use algebra as a musician or a politician or philosopher, or you know, unless I do logic. Actually, that's why I quit logic. I took logic as a module, and I had like 2 lessons of logic, and I was like, nope. So I switched it. The only subject I could switch it with was Irish Enlightenment.
Oh wow!
Yes, I
How
chose
was that?
I mean, not the most interesting in my opinion. You know, I'm more into the French and the German philosophers. But
Well, there's a lot more to kind of. There's probably a lot more.
Oh yeah,
It's 6 minutes past 4, my friend. Okay. 16:06.
16:06.
16:06.
1606. Yeah. So you gotta go soon, yeah.
I can wait 10 minutes or so.
Okay, nice. Then you can speak with Aaron.
Then I can speak with Aaron. It's all
Yeah, any questions you want to ask me? More than I will do my best to
Why
answer.
French?
Well, good question. I mean, I was very good at it in secondary school. I mean, at least in first year, and then I kind of went downhill, and then my grades came up, and I was like, I actually have quite a decent command of this language. And, Ireland, like in most English-speaking countries, has a reputation for like being bad with languages. So I just felt if I studied a major European language, it would help me.
Okay.
Which it did. I mean, it's a very rewarding language to learn in terms of literature, in terms of culture. France is a fantastic country to visit. I mean, yes, you can get around kind of with English, but it's not the easiest. First of all, because a lot of French people don't speak English at all, or very little, and also there are those who just won't speak English as well. Now, that's becoming less of an issue with the youngsters, with millennials and Gen Z, but still, you want to get on with everyone. So, but yeah, and I learned a lot. You learned about Francophone culture. You learn about kind of all the big French literature like Candide, the three nuns, things like that, and then you learn about French philosophers like Rousseau and Diderot, all those very intelligent men that kind of, in a sense, kind of formed.
But is French a part of the basic education in Ireland?
Yes, it is in a lot of schools. Not all schools, but quite a lot of schools. And then there's also Spanish. Of course, Gaeilge or Irish is our main kind of subject. And it's funny because it's the official language of the state after English. It's the first language of the state officially. But of course, most things are done through English in terms of working life and everyday life.
So French is actually a...
No.
No,
French isn't. Sorry.
No,
I went off track there. My apologies. English. Sorry. No, I was just going off a tangent there. I mean, sorry. So essentially, French is a subject that is taught in most Irish schools.
Okay.
And in fairness, if a lot of Irish people do have a second language, it's normally French, I imagine. A lot of the times it is French. Not always. I mean, of course, it's Spanish and German or Italian, but French would be one of the higher list of... They would be up there and kind of at the top in terms of... what languages you have as a second language.
Okay. I didn't really have anything to go on after that, aside from... Because I haven't gone too much deep into the concepts of these ages, if you will, like Gen Z, millennials.
Mm-hmm.
What's your perspective then on the differences between them since you used it?
I like your style. Now that's really interesting. I mean, I would consider myself a millennial because I'm just on the cusp. I'm 27, so I was born on the 29th of May, 1996. So I consider myself a millennial. Then Gen Z would be kind of anyone born after that. Like 1998, you're kind of on the cusp in any case. Like you're kind of Gen Z, you're kind of millennial. I mean, honestly, there are in terms of kind of social and political outlook, there probably isn't that many differences, I imagine, just from my impression. I just think the Gen Z are probably a little bit more savvy in terms of technology. I'd say they, on average, use TikTok a lot more. They use social media a lot more. They use these kind of weird lingo more than we do, from what I understand from social media. I think they're basically a more extreme version of millennials.
Okay.
They're kind of millennials on steroids, in a sense.
Okay.
Like I have anxiety, I have depression, I have this, I have that. Like, after I graduated university, I taught French students at the university in Rennes, And the amount of times people would miss class and they'd say things like, oh, you know, I can't do this presentation because of anxiety. They would literally say this on the day they were meant to do it. Like I had students who had panic attacks the day of the presentation. Come on now.
I get it, but it's a bad excuse.
No, it is a bad excuse. Seriously, I mean, I even had one poor girl, a very sweet girl now. I don't know her to be fair, but she seemed nice. I was kind of sitting down and I was listening to the presentation, and then suddenly she just kind of ran out of the room, and literally the poor girl, she like crawled up she was curled up in a ball. I never told you this actually. She curled up out into a ball, and I started speaking to her in French, you know, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Like, what's up? Are you okay? And she said, oh, I'm really sorry. I just can't take it and everything like that. So
that was what was she doing when that happens? You said it
I
was
think
a presentation. No,
I think she was doing a presentation, yeah, and then she just decided. I think because she had to speak English, and she was obviously very, very self-conscious about speaking English. So yeah, she just kind of curled into a ball and just couldn't handle it. But apparently there was another student who was due to have a presentation on one of the days I had that class, and I think we had to move it twice because she had a panic attack or something like that, from what I remember.
Is that a big problem?
Yeah, it seems to be like. See, I think one issue is the French education system can be very, very judgmental.
Okay.
Like, you know, you have to get everything perfect, otherwise you're bad. You know, they have to get like my job was an English language assistant. So one of the main things I had to do is, you know, I'd correct, like I was essentially there to help French students who were bachelors in English improve their spoken level. So I'd do things like debates, phonetics, presentations, etc. So I had to look at things like their pronunciation, their grammar, their fluency. But the issue is they took the pronunciation to the next level. Okay. They had to get their THs perfect. Like French students will have a tendency to say the instead of the. The. Even I know some Scandinavians will say th instead of the. But the French are notorious for doing that. They'll either say sink or fink. I had to try and correct it. Unfortunately, if they said it too much, they would either get a very low grade or I'd have to fail them. And the issue is, even if I tried to pass them, my supervisor, Anita, very, very sweet woman, but very, very highly strung. Not to us, but just in terms of how things were done. She'd be like, sorry, Aaron, I can't accept these grades. So she'd fail them and I'd get the rap. So yeah, and actually another story I can tell you is I took some first years 2 years ago, and I was going through some phonetic sheets, just getting them to read off sheets. And, you know, I was listening to some students, just seeing how they said it. And then suddenly one student says, oh, sorry, sir, this is happening here. One girl she just collapsed, essentially, and went into a state of shock, a state of psychosis nearly. I never told you this, did I? No, I never told you this. I'm really surprised. I may have, because it was nearly 2 years ago this happened now. She just kind of closed her eyes, was kind of shaking, convulsing on the floor like that, you know, and we kind of all moved. We kind of went up to her. I was kind of thinking what to do now. Luckily, I had an idea of what to do, so I just called the medical people, wondering, what should I do now? I guess I'll just let these guys go. And yeah, look, it all ended well. I mean, I was supposed to have my office hours after class, but it was fine. I thought I'd just stay there and just make sure the girl was all right. And one of her friends stood there, and, you know, it was a nice bonding. It was a nice bonding moment in a sense, you know, because it was like, oh, we're showing solidarity. Even one of the girls, her friend was like, oh, you're now my favorite teacher, which is sweet. It's always nice to hear that, because French students can kind of be a little bit standoffish from their teachers. So it was nice that they kind of opened up. I mean, from my experience, I had a pretty solid relationship with the students. So that was really nice for me, you know. And yeah, I wasn't the strictest teacher by any means, but
that's probably why, because from how you explain it, it sounds like it's because of the very high pressure on performing that triggers that as a problem, and that actually worsens their ability actually to learn it.
Yeah,
and then it becomes very poor relationships with the teachers because they are afraid of saying or doing something wrong to get the wrong impression.
Exactly. I mean, because, you know, I had a lot of students who actually spoke English reasonably well. It's just their pronunciation and their accent was off. And for some reason, the department that I worked in was very much they either needed to have a British accent or an American accent. Now, I ignored that completely. I could not give a rat's ass. I couldn't have given a rat's ass about that. I said, listen, I don't even care that much if you have a French accent, so long as you're producing English sounds.
Yeah.
So instead of talking like this, you can kind of have a French accent, sort of, but you need to kind of have the instead of the, or could instead of could or could. You know?
Do you know about this guy on YouTube that says everything in or English and French and Mexican doesn't make sense? He has a lot of this and this doesn't make sense kind of titles in his videos.
What's his name? Oh, I think I know. It's like, how we say it in French. Is it this guy? He's always on TikTok and shit like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What does he do exactly?
What he do? All I know is that a lot of his videos is about the stupid kind of things and rules in different languages.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he started. Mm-hmm. So, because he is doing a lot of, I think you could actually almost do very much the same, because it sounds like you are very good at talking English in many different accents, like the French way of English, Ireland way, of course, since you're there, American. So
yeah. Kind of. I don't know. I mean, I had one of my... Okay, never mind. One of my colleagues is actually American, Hannah, very sweet girl. I still am in touch with her. She's a lovely girl. But there was Celia as well. In the first year, there was Nico, who was American. And then the second year, it was myself, Hannah, Celia. No, we were the dynamic trio, I feel. And then there was Nate. And I suppose it was great for the students because, you know, yeah, it was good for the students, I guess, because maybe they could have an opportunity to meet some of the other lecturers, even though they had set teachers each semester. So I suppose actually now, come to think of it, they didn't really get to see me or Hannah if they had me or Hannah or someone else, if that makes sense.
Kind of. But
as in, they only had one teacher per semester, so if they had me, they wouldn't be able to have class with Hannah or Celia.
But this is at a not high school, but
university level.
University
level, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, because the English teacher I had in basic school, whatever you call that, when I was very young,
mm-hmm.
he was not good himself at pronunciation. I remember one specific thing he said, because people in class were kind of noisy, and then because he got annoyed and said, "Skiat up."
Shut up. He was trying to say shut up.
Yeah. He wanted to say shut up, but he said skiat up.
How did you manage to do that? That's a bit odd.
No, from where in Norway? I don't know, but he was Norwegian, yeah. So he was not very good at pronunciation, even though he was teaching English.
I mean, ultimately, you know, your mother tongue will influence how you pronounce other languages. I mean, like for the past 5 months, I was working in a 5-star hotel called the Pariscourt Hotel and Spa. I was an active service agent, and I had a junior manager called Noemi from Switzerland, and then the front of house manager we had was actually from Sweden, and it was Jenny Ulvinen. And motherfucker.
What stories about her?
Shut up, man. No, you haven't heard anything. Stop it. Nothing yet. No, but no, seriously, there's nothing. And but one thing I like, it was just funny. And even I had another manager called Clément who happened to be French. And they all had funny particularities when they spoke English. No, I mean, she would have talked like this, and everything would be like, instead of answer, say answered. And would you do this, Aaron, and all that. I mean, there was sometimes
Italian.
Well, she's from Switzerland. Her mother tongue, she was Italian Swiss.
Okay.
No, but one thing that I was trying to think of any particularity she had. I mean, she had quite a heavy accent, but her English is fluent in terms of her fluency and her grammar. It's more or less perfect. But in terms of like certain pronunciation, you say answered instead of answer. Which I was always like, my teacher was like, if you were in my class, I'd have to penalize you. Even Clémence, her accent is fascinating. It's like a mixture. It was like a mixture of French, Irish, and English. It'd be like, Aaron, please don't be late. Oh my God, I'm about to have a mental breakdown. And she'd always, and I noticed in terms of her vowel pronunciation, she'd say rude and could. And it ignited something in my brain. Like, if if she was one of my students, I'd have to be like, no, it's could, would. No, but it's funny, like, but it just shows you can have perfect English, but you're going to have certain pronunciation issues that you can try and train your brain as many times as you want. But just some people don't have that. And even Yanni, this kind of irritated me, to be honest, because she probably had, I mean, they all speak perfect, but she probably had the slightly highest command because, Swedish, I guess. I know it's kind of a stereotype, but she'd say think instead of think. She'd say an FH instead of a TH.
Uh-huh.
And I would always kind of be like, it's a TH. It's a TH, but look, it's fine. I'm not a teacher anymore. I know it sounds a bit smug and arrogant, but it's just something I thought about. But like, it just shows that
That's also
pronunciation's irrelevant as long as it's not really. I get the sense that people don't really care how you pronounce things so long as they can understand you.
That's true. Because if they don't understand it, they can ask and then you can explain it. But yeah, as long as it's understood, then you get the point across. How you say it then doesn't actually matter.
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases it can, but then you ask. So yeah. What's the time?
It's now 21 minutes past 4.
21
or
minutes
16:21.
past, so then I have 10 minutes until it starts, so I should actually get going. So then you can continue and you have to change
The scenes. Yeah.
The scenes.
You fixed that, Mr. Joe Stain. J-Rock, as I say.
J-Rock.
Oh, look at us. It's only me and him now.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Okay, thank you so much, J-Rock. I will take over from here. And we'll have a...
captain of the ship.
Yes.
The new ship's captain.
And I'm going to make sure this podcast goes viral. Okay?
It'll go viral, man.
With this guy, it goes viral.
Politics in store, I guess.
Perhaps.
I mean, look, we'll just talk about
We'll
general
see what we
things, I
talk
guess.
about, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man. Pleasure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you. No, I mean, damn, I look fat in this video.
Yeah, my nose looks so weird in this photo. Like, I know I have a slightly deviated... I do have a deviated septum, but Jesus Christ.
Is it better? No.
Man, I'm ugly as fuck.
No, man, you don't have a strong enough jawline. You
My
know,
beard's hiding that.
That's why you ain't getting no girls.
Damn.
Bye, Joseph J-Rock.
No, I
Yeah.
told I have a nice jaw, but look, either way.
No, you have a very strong jawline, man. I'm just making fun. It's just the black pill. I'm making fun of the black pill content.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like that content is...
Have you paid attention to the black pill content?
Yeah, I mean, I've consumed some of that content, and it's look. I don't want to sound dramatic, but it does really get. It got into my psyche anyway, because I consider myself quite a sensitive, impressionable person.
I see.
And if certain things, didn't work out, I'd be like, oh, it's because of that, and it can be quite hard to get out of that. I feel.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely you become what you see.
You become what you see. Absolutely.
Man, that's a deep quote.
No, really, it is.
It really matters what you marinate your mind with, you know. So it's kind of like like a chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
You
You
know?
gotta marinate it in
Exactly.
spice and salt and pepper.
I love me some chicken. And some and no, so it really matters. Like I noticed that too. Like I had the same thing with the red pill content for a while. It's just like. Yeah, like for a while, Andrew Tate came on my feed,
Yeah,
a lot. For example,
Jesus Christ.
he probably came on your feed too. Like
he did. He did. It was
He came on.
insane.
It was like fucking like a parasite. Oh shit! Fuck. No, like it was uncontrollable, you know. And the thing is, like, I just watched it kind of like because it was entertaining, But the thing is, I noticed that the content in a way affected me though. I feel like think though that's
For
my
some
theory.
reason-
I feel like it affected me in a way like he was always like, yeah, you're a brokey, you gotta escape the matrix. You are a loser if you don't have millions of bucks. And I'm just a student, I barely
You're
have.
just a student, exactly.
Yeah, like so. I was like, man, fuck. Am I doing the wrong thing in life now? Shouldn't I? Maybe I should start a business. Maybe I should, get a millionaire so the girls will love me.
Yeah.
And you get these kind of thoughts which are really stupid.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I'm a brokey, according to Andrew Tate now. But like I get girls. I have a girlfriend. Like so you don't really need all this shit, in order to have a good life.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been, I was probably a late bloomer in terms of dating, but I've been on a few dates myself. I was dating someone recently, it didn't work out, and there's been some interesting stuff that's happened in Norway, which we won't go into here.
It's always a flirt when you go on vacation.
Exactly. But I mean, it's interesting you said that, because I was listening to everything that you said about Andrew Tate, but it's funny, if you look at the Blackbill content, they'll say being rich. Well, yeah, but they'd say being rich doesn't matter. Or, it's fascinating because in the red pill camp, you'll have people that say actually men are more successful women as they get older because they get more resources, more confidence. But with the black pill content, some black pill people say, that's irrelevant because they don't actually love you for you. It's such a, and they say the chads in quotes, are tall, perfect, kind of lean, perfect jawline, perfect kind of symmetry, everything like that. They don't need to do any of that because they can just get people on looks alone, because they're saying personality, status doesn't really matter. And I suppose some of them would say things like, isn't it kind of a shame that you have to get all this effort to find a girlfriend that has been, quote unquote, used by, chads, Tyrones, all that. It's like nothing is ever good enough.
No, nothing is ever good enough. It's like the girl has to be like a virgin.
Almost, in a sense.
And she has to be under 25. And she has to, be this and that and... Yeah. Make food, and it's kind of like, they have very high standard. You're talking about the red pill stuff, right?
Both. You could say it's both, actually. It's both. They're both kind of, it's funny because they're both, there's something about them that is slightly addictive in the sense, like if I feel like I don't listen to it in small doses, it feels like, I'll miss out on some valuable information. So I kind of sort of keep a tab on it, but it's kind of like, I know this is kind of going to make me miserable.
It's going to make you miserable, exactly.
And I won't be able to enjoy anything as it is. Like, for example, let's say I was to, have a fling with a girl, but it was a flirtation, you may have danced, you may have kissed, but that was it. It didn't go further.
Yeah.
Instead of enjoying that moment, it's kind of like if you don't kind of have proper sexual content.
It's a failure.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a failure. Like if you didn't have sex, then it's a failure. But I mean the flirtation part is a good memory, anyways.
No, it is.
It's a good time.
That's the thing. But it's almost
like better than nothing.
No, it is. I mean, of course. And I mean, the thing is, like, it's sort of like, it just kind of makes you miserable because like you can't really actually just enjoy good moments.
Exactly. I feel you, bro. I feel like there was a while when I was single. I went out to every time I went out, with the boys to. So I was all right when we had like the pre-party, when it was just me and the boys.
Yeah,
and we're just drinking and maybe some friends there who were just friends, like girls who were just friends, and we're just drinking and having fun. That's cool. But then the second I came out in the city, my mindset always switched from having fun and just chilling to finding a girl and having like a romantic moment or get laid, have sex and all that stuff that we men crave.
Yeah.
So, and then it was like, because of that, every time I did manage to get a girl, I will go home. The bus ride home is always terrible.
Yeah.
The bus ride home and also the day afterwards will be terrible too.
Yeah.
It would be like, why didn't I talk to that girl? Why was I so shy? Why couldn't I just
sometimes
talk to that girl?
As well.
And what if I did this? Maybe she was interested in me. Why didn't I take advantage of that? It's like,
I mean, it's funny you say that actually, because I mean, even I was kind of thinking last night, I was like, did I have to come home so early? I mean, I could have just stayed out. I know you were busy kind of doing your funny business. But I was like, I think I saw some women who were kind of looking over at me, but I had my one-nightus on somebody, so that could have happened. But I suppose, I think we're kind of very hard on ourselves.
Yeah, we are in general. We are right?
Very, very hard on ourselves.
I mean, we're the type of guys who, we take high educations. We Yeah, we try to you fucking move around and to Belgium, the teacher in Belgium, teacher in France. Like
Yeah.
we're not chill at all. We're not.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, in some ways, no. I mean, I would consider myself quite a laid back person.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, maybe you're more laid back than me at least.
Yeah, I think I'd be more laid back than you.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
But yeah, you know,
because I still got that, that grind with the artist career. And all that
Yeah,
shit.
no,
At
I
least
mean-
you don't have that.
Yeah, I'm more
Because
kind of,
that's a pain in the ass because it's such a fucking risky business.
no, for sure. I mean, but fair play for you for trying it in any case. I mean,
hard
look,
work and all that. Yeah. You just got a job now as a civil service, right?
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Garda. The Garda is the police in Ireland.
that's right. No,
Yes.
I mean, it's a clerical officer, so technically I'm not a police officer or a guard, as we call them, but I am a civil servant. So essentially I'll be doing kind of clerical work, most likely, answering emails, answering phone calls, kind of liaisoning with other Garda stations, as we call them,
Yeah,
possibly filing reports. It'll depend on what department I'm in.
yeah.
But the process for that was quite long. I mean, I started the whole process for that in December of 2021. I had to do tests. I had to essentially it was like you have a major application. A few months later, you got an invitation for a test. You did the test. And then in April of 2023, I got what was called a statement to send a statement of interest. And it just so happened on Garda Síochána, we're looking for clerical officers.
Nice.
So I put in my statement of interest. A few months later, I did another test, something like that. I did well. I got an invitation for an interview in June. I actually got extra help for that. My mum and my mum's friend were suggesting that I actually pay for a service to help me prepare for the interview. Now, it was about €200, but it worked. I got the position. So essentially, I just needed to send, documents. I needed to do a police clearance from France. I needed to get a police clearance from France.
Just to make sure that you were clean.
That I was clean.
Yeah.
That I was clean.
Yeah.
And, my documents and everything. That was fine. But in the meantime, what I was doing was I actually got a job on the 27th of June as an actual service agent. So that was tiding me over while I was waiting for that job. Now, the only issue is I kind of had a mindset that I wasn't going to be there for long. Now, I was there for almost 6 months. And look, it was a lovely time. The people were lovely. There were some people who were the pain in the backside, but that's just work. So, yeah, I mean, I was just waiting because they said it would take about 6 to 10 weeks for the documents to go through. It took about 5 months for them to actually finally get everything cleared.
Yeah.
So I was there. But in any case, I was glad to, just get some more job experience and also just have some money, and more financially secure than I was even a few months ago. So
Nice. And you get a good salary too, would you say? Are you happy with the salary?
No, it's okay. I mean, look, it's about 500. I'd say after tax it'll be about 550 and 520 euros a week because you're paid weekly in this job.
That's after tax, yeah?
After tax. Well, look, it's okay. I mean,
then it's all right.
I am currently staying with my family back in Ireland. And
okay, so you managed to save a lot of money.
yeah,
then.
man, they're kind enough. I mean, I do say, listen, are you sure you don't want me to pay rent? And I'm like, no.
That's cool. I respect that. I like that when parents don't actually want you to pay rent. Because I wouldn't do that to my kids, to be honest. Because I would rather, as long as they show that they're trying to do something with their life.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want them to pay rent because then I see it as me kind of damaging their future in a way. Because if they work, if they have a job and they get an income, then they can stay at my place. And they can save up money so that they can finally buy their own place one day.
That's the thing, yeah.
Because if I'm gonna say, give me 500 euros a month, then I'm just slowing them down. Right?
That's a very good. That's a lovely way to look at it. Actually,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think my parents are the same. Like my mum was like, "Listen, Aaron, you need to take this opportunity to save as much as possible." Just
yeah. I mean, I guess if the parents struggle financially,
no, of course, then it's different.
Obviously you gotta contribute, but if that's not a problem, then
no, of course, no. I mean, they're doing all right. They feel so, That's great.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's great.
No, I'm very happy for you, man. I hope you like the job.
Yeah, look, I hope I do too. I mean, look, it's probably not going to be the most thrilling thing I'll ever do. I actually did go to the Garda station, and it's quite a big Garda station. Actually, it's in Store Street Garda station. The office is a bit dreary looking, but look, it's an office, so you can't expect. I think once I get into the mojo of things, the swing of things, I think I do need to do some training before I arrive, or at least the few weeks into my first few weeks, I will need to do some training. But look, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice, man.
It's something. It's a bit of stability in life.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah,
you're more of a stability person instead of a spontaneous person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can be spontaneous if I want to be. Like I might go travel somewhere. Like this is kind of like this would be. I consider that what I'm doing now with you,
Spontaneous,
or
yeah.
even just being in Norway is spontaneous because I was kind of like, oh, will I go to Norway? Will I not go to Norway? Yeah, I'm going to go to Norway because I had no excuse in a sense because I had 2 weeks off.
Yeah, exactly. You had to do it now, man. Like you had to do it now. Yeah, that's the problem with jobs for me. Is that every job it seems like has the same model. Doesn't matter what industry you go in early. It's like 5 days a week. You only get like, at least in Norway, 5 weeks of vacation the whole year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You think that's good or bad?
Well, I thought it'd be low for a country like Norway, which is kind of all like.
No, it's only 5 weeks, man, for most jobs. So yeah, that's the problem. Like it's hard to travel. You know, you might have the money, but you don't really have the time to enjoy it. Feels like, you know. So that's yeah. So it's good to take the advantage when you can.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's what I was thinking. You know, like there was no guarantee I was going to be able to travel. No, I suppose I could take leave and things like that, but that can be complicated in itself. You know?
Yeah. Some people do that. No, I mean, no. I hope so. It's more like an office job, yeah.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, with a little bit of status.
A little bit of status. Yeah, man. He got some status now. All them girls be flocking around him now. Yeah. Oh my God, are you a policeman? Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah, we can say that.
We can say that.
I mean, it's funny because actually, I literally got like a plethora of like a multitude of documents from these guys, right? And actually, they do kind of look at the ethical code of policing. Yeah. So it's like, even though you're not a guard, you are still working with the police force. So you still have to kind of abide by the codes and everything like that, you know. Essentially, and you know, so it's quite a serious job in a way, in a sense, you know.
Yeah. No, it's
I mean, I do kind of feel bad in part of me consciously, like now I'm working for the man, and also like I don't particularly like the Irish government themselves.
I mean, no government is good in my opinion.
That's true.
So what do you think about Ireland when it comes to the political state of Ireland? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, look, Ireland's kind of the case with Ireland is kind of fascinating because in terms of like the numbers, as a lot of people may even know on this podcast, if they're interested in European politics or Ireland or anything like that, Ireland is considered one of the richest countries in the world. It's like just behind like Luxembourg and Monaco in some cases.
Is it even richer than Norway? Higher GDP than Norway?
I think it might. I mean, that's per capita. Yes, I mean it has it is a higher GDP per capita than like countries like the United States, which I suppose, I mean, they have a lot of issues.
Kind of makes sense, yeah.
But the reality doesn't always reflect that because, I mean, there's a lot of people struggling with the cost of living. Housing is a mess. The healthcare service is a mess from what I understand. Now, I'm a relatively healthy person. I haven't had to deal with the public health service that much. And, you know, my mum would help me with private now. I am going to have to get my own private insurance soon enough. But that's another story.
Can you get it through the job?
Potentially, I need to look into that.
Health insurance, yeah.
But in any case, also the infrastructure, like Ireland obviously is a developed country, but the infrastructure wouldn't be as developed as, let's say, some of the continental European countries, even though per capita we're meant to be richer. But also, I mean, it's weird because then at the same time, consumer spending is up. The economy is booming in a sense. You know, people are hustling and bustling. I'm very interested in cars, so I always notice all the brand new cars on the road. I really look into that. I'm just fascinated by that.
Yeah.
And also a lot of immigrants, are like so many over the past 20 years. Ireland has changed rapidly with, you know, first.
I feel that too.
Yeah, I mean, there was people from the EU first, Poland, Romania, Lithuania, Estonia. Now I have a lot of people from the Indian subcontinent coming because, you know, a lot of them are coming to the IT. A lot of them are doing masters. You also have a lot of asylum seekers coming now. I'll speak about that later and what I think about that. You also have, you know, people from Brazil. So, I mean, definitely Ireland has really changed. Some would say it's for the better. Some would say it's for the worst. And in terms of the wealth, just to go back to the wealth, one big issue is you could argue Ireland is nowhere near as wealthy as they say it is because a lot of it is inflated through American multinational corporations.
Yeah.
And in terms of the politics themselves, I mean, obviously the main parties that kind of have dominated the political landscape for the past, since the foundation of the state almost, is Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil.
Mm.
Now, currently, the current government is a coalition of the Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, and the Green Party.
Mm.
Not very popular. I mean, they are really, really screwing people over in terms of carbon taxes. You know, Eamon Ryan, who was our Minister for Transport and Environmental, I mean, he says, oh, we should drive electric cars, but he just doesn't want anyone drive. He wants everyone cycling. He wants everyone taking public transport, which in and of themselves are not bad things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they are not bad things. I am a fan of public transport. I think any city, you know, should always have a good balance of having people, you know, get around who need cars and who want cars, get around efficiently, but also those who want to. I'm not that interested in bicycle lanes as much. I think you should possibly prioritize public transport more because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with walking. I would rather prioritize pavements, sidewalks, or footpaths than cycle lanes. In some cases, of course, have cycle lanes where they're practical, and if a city's known, if, you know, bikes are popular, yeah, for sure. But I'd be more interested in public transport and footpaths, but also allowing people who have cars to get around reasonably efficiently, which most cities do. But sometimes I feel they're trying to sabotage it a little bit. But that's just my tinfoil hat brain kind of popping up.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, things like carbon taxes, oil taxes, electricity's going up, inflation's going up, and the government isn't doing that much to help. And yet at the same time, as the housing crisis, there's a lot of asylum seekers coming to the country. And, you know, also just legal immigration. I mean, just to go on that, I mean, I am half Indian myself. My father is Kenyan. Now, he never really lived in Ireland until up to recently. He kind of come back and forth and visit us. But I have kind of... I do believe that, you know, obviously your own citizens should be prioritized first, but also, you know, because of our, you know, every European country has a rich heritage, a rich culture that, you know, they should be protected. So, I mean, I think, otherwise you're just not nations anymore. You're not countries anymore, in a sense. You're just kind of, as some other people on the internet would say, and I am quoting them, I'm not going to say I came up with this.
Yeah.
You know, they'd say things like, you know, if anyone can be Irish or if anyone can be French, if anyone can be Norwegian, like, you lose the value of what that is. You're almost just these economic units that kind of just go to work, live, die, consume, produce, etc.
Yeah, you don't have any national pride
or meaning in your country. I mean, look, I know a lot of people, like, you know, aren't as interested in that. And I'm not saying I'm that interested. It's just a thought I've had. And I suppose also just you can make the argument from a more practical sense. Why is it fair that tens of thousands of young Irish people feel they need to leave the country? Well, so many people are coming in and actually just making do. And of course, they do that on the backs of their own hard work as well. That is something to bear in mind. But, you know, there's kind of rumors regarding asylum seekers online that our Minister for Children and Integration, his name's Roderick O'Gorman, have been sending messages in several different languages saying, oh, come to Ireland, we'll give you a free house. Now, of course, our media and the government would deny that. And I'm not confirming nor denying whether it's true, but there are rumors. I even spoke to my mother about it, and she was like, oh, yeah, I heard about that too, actually. So it's not like these are just a fringe of people who are believing this. Even there were two polls that came out that 73% of the Irish public believe that too many refugees are coming into the country. Now, a lot of them are, at least as far as we know, Ukrainians, mostly men and women. Funnily enough, in the hotel I worked in, there was a lot of Ukrainians, and a lot of them were dudes.
No way.
A lot of them were dudes. Yes, there were women as well.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, they didn't want to fight. And I understand.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know,
according to the law in Ukraine, you can't really get away from Ukraine as a man. You have to stay and fight.
So I've heard. So
it's strange that they managed to get over to Ireland. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they managed to get out some way, you know, maybe, you know, they managed to bribe some officers, or I don't know.
Perhaps.
Or maybe they have some type of handicap that they can't fight.
Perhaps.
Or sickness.
No, I mean, that's very possible as well. It's very possible as well. I mean, I'm not going to, like...
No, but I mean, I think that the Ukrainian men should just have the same right as Ukrainian women to be refugees as well, you know?
No, I agree with that to a large extent. I mean, it's a bit odd, but I suppose, you know, they're kind of like, oh no, we need all the manpower we can get, you know?
Yeah, I get it from Ukraine's perspective, you know? Because if all the men leaves, then there's no more country left.
Yeah.
Then Russia can just do whatever they want, you know? So
we create the Russian Empire.
Huh?
I mean, it's not even clear what they... Look, I'm no military expert. It seems unclear exactly what they want.
I mean, I think that... I don't know. I think it's too hard to occupy Ukraine.
Oh yeah, because Ukraine's
to-
actually a very large country.
It's a large country, and Ukraine gets so much help from the West, and I guess it's tough terrain, there, and all that. So
And a hostile population.
yeah, and the population are hardcore.
Very hardcore.
You don't fuck with the Ukrainian population, like
No.
they're so hard. I really respect them, though. I
No,
really
for
do.
sure.
They really. See, people. I mean, people, including me, have been very criticizing of patriotism, criticizing patriotism and nationalism.
Yeah.
And me too. I mean, like I'm a multicultural guy. I'm 4 nations. I'm Norwegian, Romanian, Icelandic, Armenian. I lived in many countries. I don't really, for me personally, I don't really have that much patriotism because I'm just so full of everything. So, but I see, let's say in the Ukraine situation, how important it kind of is with patriotism, because it's very easy to just be like, you know what? It's not my problem. As long as I get out, take care of my family, it's good. Send me to wherever, as long as I'm safe. But the Ukrainians, they don't think like that because they have a lot of patriotism. So they're like, no, fuck this.
Yeah.
We gotta fight for a country.
Yeah, no, I mean
So,
that's something to admire. Obviously.
So it's admirable. And like for example, I couldn't say the same thing about Norway. Like if Norway got attacked or invaded, I don't know if Norway would fight back. I don't know if the military would, but I don't know if the regular Norwegian guy or woman would fight back.
Though you were saying that most Norwegians have nothing but positive things to say about Norway.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Norwegians love Norway. That's for sure.
No, there's a lot of reasons to love it, man. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful country,
That's true. Even if you try to have, I feel like it's too much sometimes. Like I try to have political debates with people about Norway, where I'm kind of criticizing the government, and it seems like they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it, and they just always be like, "Yeah, but we have problems, but we're still the best country." It's always like that,
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's a good country, I agree, but you can still improve, right?"
Yeah,
I'm on the grind,
yeah.
that's how I am with myself.
Yeah.
I can always improve, so I'm the same with my country as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously.
And I think that it's stupid how much tax. I think that's really unfair how much taxes we pay, and we don't really get that much back, in my opinion, compared to the taxes we pay.
Yeah, I understand.
Like for example, like a regular Norwegian will probably work half of the year for free in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's not only income tax. I mean, income tax, maybe it's like 30%, but then you have also like sales tax, and you have tax on many different things. Like if you have a car, you have suddenly a lot of taxes. Road tax and shit.
Same in Ireland.
So so like overall, like you probably, if you want to count it, you probably work like half of the year for free, in a way.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting.
So
that way, yeah.
And I think, okay, cool. But if we gotta pay that much taxes, everything should be perfect, in my opinion.
Yes, of course.
Like especially for the old people, folks. Like imagine you work. It's so bad. Like the retirement homes, so bad. Like imagine you work your whole life and you become retired, and then you have to live in a shithole for the rest before you. Like you should be living in fucking luxury,
For sure, man.
Instead of the prisons. The prisons are more luxurious than the old people.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
like they're doing these art classes, they're cycling around and everything like that.
Yeah. So you want me to explain the philosophy behind this?
Go on, yeah.
Yeah, so the philosophy behind the prison system in Norway is. Huh?
Go on.
Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing. I'm just smiling. I'm smiling at the camera.
Ah, nice. Yeah, so no, the philosophy is that we shouldn't punish people. We should rather rehabilitate them. So if the thing is that if you treat them like animals, they will become animals. So if you treat them like people, they will become people.
Interesting.
So if you let them have certain freedoms, if you let them have good food, PlayStation, and whatever, let them take education in prison for free, and take the driver's license for free, stuff like that. Yeah, I think you can do that. I think so. Then they will manage better when they go back into society, and then they will not come back. And it actually worked. Like statistically, Norway has very low, what's it called, like second imprisonment.
They have a very low prison retention. No.
Yeah.
Sandback, right?
Sandback, you could say, yeah. So usually if you're in prison in Norway, you're just there once. You won't come back most of the times.
No, that's good. I mean, I suppose.
In America, for example, you have the opposite philosophy, and you see what happens there. They come back all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a tough one because you should also, I think, I do like the idea in many ways, especially for things like just stealing or maybe even assault, like as in fight assault, like you attack someone or, car crash, speeding, you hit someone, hit and run, perhaps. I think obviously for murder or sexual assault, there needs to be actual punishment for that.
Yeah, you think so, yeah.
And look, I'm not some kind of like ruthless guy who kind of like wants, obviously law and order is good.
What do you think about, let's say, Anders Breivik? You know him.
He's a guy who shot up some people, is it?
Yeah, he shot he's the mass murderer who shot like 77 people, mostly young people, on an island called Utøya.
Yeah.
In 2011. But he lives in a maximum security prison. I mean, he's isolated, right? He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have any contact with people except for the guards. But he still has a nice apartment, like probably a nicer apartment than me. Most likely he has, entertainment and good food and good enough food, So yeah, but like, I don't feel that's a hard enough punishment for a guy like that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like there was a situation in Ireland, for example, where now look, this is a tragedy. It was a family. The father's name was Andrew McGinley, and he had a wife who obviously his wife had some mental health issues ever since she was 18 or something like that. One day she just decides, my kids are just going to struggle if I die or something happens. So what she does is she suffocates 2 of the kids.
No.
And then I think one dies in a car or something, but she suffocates them essentially, right? When the husband's at work, and then she tries to kill herself in the car. And she apparently left a note saying, I love you, I'm sorry that we have to do this, but they just won't be the same without me and things like that. I remember being so angry and so upset about that. I don't know why. And of course, Andrew McKinley, I believe he's completely broken. Like he tries to cope now. I mean, I think he even has a YouTube channel where he tries to keep his kids' memories alive. And and he also does things for his GAA club, that's Gaelic football for anyone who is interested. Gaelic football it's our national sport, and there's hurling as well. Anyway,
rugby.
Well, yeah. But apparently he's struggling financially now. On top of that, but essentially she got a leeway on the grounds of insanity. So I'm pretty sure she's in a mental health institution now. And I remember being so angry, like, why couldn't there be an actual punishment for that? And I remember people because I'm pretty sure I did say something about it on Facebook. And I just remember a lot of people, and it kind of really irritated me, to be honest. They were like, oh, it's so easy for you to say that with your comfortable, well-organized life with mental health. And I just felt like people were missing the point. You seem to care more that I was criticizing that she should have been put in jail or locked up as a punishment, rather than actually she killed 3 children. She killed 3 children. 3 children are dead.
Yeah, and they focus on you.
They focus on that.
Yeah.
And what's unfair is, look, I understand that people may have, and I think, looking back, I do think it probably was the right decision to put her in a mental health institution. I think, because I don't think she was a bad person. But could you not at least have sympathy for people who were angry about it?
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck? God damn. Yeah.
I mean, look, what about Mr. McGill? What about this poor guy?
Yeah.
From what I understand, he's struggling.
Yeah.
What about him?
Yeah, exactly.
What about his mental health now?
Nobody cares about that. And he didn't do anything wrong. Like,
yeah,
they care more about the person who did something wrong than they care about the people who were innocent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the impression I got anyway. I mean,
the thing is, I noticed about society is that sometimes we often defend the bad guy.
Yeah.
Lately, in the last years. It's been like this
cases,
kind of like this softness against evil people. And the problem is, if we're going to be soft against evil people, then the nice guys will be taken advantage of.
Yeah, of course.
Like people like Breivik. Why are we so soft on him? He should. Norway doesn't have the death penalty, but he should have given the death penalty. Like we should make an exception for someone like Breivik. Also because for justification for the families of the victims. I don't think the families of the victims are very happy that he is still alive and healthy in a cell.
Yeah,
I don't think that's enough for them.
No, Jesus, like. Just locked away.
I mean, it will not. It will never be enough, though. I mean, even if we kill him, like the kids will never come back. But
no, of
still,
course. I mean, that is one. I suppose that is a kind of one thing you can say in terms of an argument that it's not going to bring them back. And I suppose I see it, but
it's more about like
Yeah.
justification,
of course, yeah.
getting that. Yeah, it's like it's no justice. I want some justice in this world,
No, of course, man.
and that shit is not justice.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pay much attention. I mean, I knew nothing about Norway at the time. I was only 15, but I do remember saying, "Oh, yeah, this guy in Norway, he shot some people."
Yeah.
It did make international news, of course.
Yeah, it did. It did. It was one of the biggest massacres in Europe, actually.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was the biggest since Second World War.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So that's crazy. Of course, in America, this happened on a daily basis. So.
I think it's probably. I mean, look, I don't. No, I'm not. I have no statistics to prove whether it's exaggerated or not. To be honest, so I'm not going to say
I
that.
guess it's a bit exaggerated, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But in Europe, this doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't happen often.
No. So no. So I think it's really bad that we always care more about the bad guys than the good guys.
Mm.
And same with the prison thing. Like old people are innocent. The most innocent type of people you find, like old people and children.
Mm-hmm.
Most innocent people, right?
Yeah, of course.
And they get treated bad. Like my grandma is old now; she's in a caring home, and it looks like a fucking institution. Like it's
Jesus.
so like soulless.
Yeah.
I know how institutions are; it's pretty soulless. And then people who has killed and maybe even raped gets nice places to live. It gets a nice social life and everything. Like
That's crazy when you think about it.
yeah, what's wrong? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why people are so obsessed of defending the wolf instead of defending the sheep.
Don't know.
But the irony is that we kill the wolves in Norway.
Yeah, for
That's
real.
the irony.
That's
When it comes to the animals, we kill them.
Mm.
We kill the wolves and defend
Who
the
actually
sheep.
did nothing wrong.
Exactly. The
They're
wolves
just living
didn't do
their
anything wrong. They just, it's just their nature. That's all.
Mm.
Just like we eat pigs, we eat lamb, we eat the same animal as the wolf, bro.
Yeah, for real.
And we kill the wolves. Say you're bad.
Yeah, I suppose because they could be a danger to us as well. You see.
Yeah, I
That's-
guess.
that's-
Yeah,
that's-
I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's an interesting word. I mean, I wouldn't have thought about it that way. That we like to defend the bad guy.
Mm.
I think it depends on the situation, of course, but yeah, maybe a little bit. I suppose. I think there is. I mean, even like the whole stereotype. Even like when it comes to things like dating,
Yeah.
women like the women were like the asshole. They're like the drug addict. They're like the rapper who commits
The
crimes.
rapper, they like me.
But you don't commit crimes.
No,
though, so
I'm a good rapper.
You're a good rapper. You ain't that.
No,
hard.
no, I'm a peace, love, and positivity rapper.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, so I mean, in some cases, yeah, I think maybe
The bad guys are the cool ones.
Yeah.
And the nice guys are not cool. And like you never see a girl drooling over a guy winning the Nobel Peace Prize, for example.
that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, but you will see girls hyped about rappers or gangsters or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that, you know?
Yeah,
So
no.
it's not only girls, but I'm talking guys in like, let's say in high school or something like that.
Everyone wants to be a rapper, but not a scientist.
Exactly. Like it wasn't cool, let's say in high school or in school in general. It was never cool to be
Yeah.
good in school
Mm-hmm.
and have good grades
Mm.
and know shit.
Mm-hmm.
What was cool was being the best football player, for example.
Yeah.
That was cool. Then you're cool. Or the guy who drinks the most alcohol.
Mhm.
Or the guy who breaks the most rules.
Yeah.
Then you're cool. So it's like we always like the toxic shit. It's like humans are wired to be toxic, We love toxicity,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, perhaps, I wouldn't certainly feel like toxicity. I mean, I suppose in my social interactions, I consider myself quite vanilla. Even though I know like some of my views, even my mum says, "Oh, but you have quite strong views." And I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, they're just thoughts in my head, but I'm quite a vanilla person otherwise.
Yes.
But I suppose like it kind of, I actually don't know what to say. I actually do want to, you mentioned nice people and nice guys. I've actually been mulling my head. The way now the whole idea is the nice guy is always bad.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why that is, because it's come to a point where someone says I'm a nice guy, I almost am like, kind of in a psychological way, like, what do you mean by nice guy?
It's not a compliment, yeah. I'd rather be called a bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, like, because I think we get so wrapped up in these terms on the internet that nice guy, that like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, a nice guy was just a good person.
Yeah.
He did what he did or what he or she could do for themselves, for the family, for the friends. They helped people, etc. Whereas now the nice guy's kind of become a toxic word.
Yeah, now the nice guy's like you're weak. Then you're more like you're soft. You don't stand up for yourself.
You don't go for what you want.
You don't go for what you want. You just kind of you're like a doormat. Exactly. That's more of the nice guy. Yeah, that's how they see the nice guy today. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. So even if, like, especially if a woman or a guy, like more especially like a woman says, "Oh, I'm a nice guy," I mean, obviously it's nice, but it's kind of like, oh, what do you mean by that in the background? I know it's kind of an insecurity thing in a sense, but it's a bit strange. But I think like a lot of people on the internet kind of get so wrapped up in these terms, we could actually just forget like the little term of a nice guy is just a good person.
You know, a good person, yeah.
You know, but actually, I think the thing is, I think the reason why there's such a backlash against the kind of the term of the nice guy. I mean, we already know this in many ways, but I suppose we can just, for those who aren't familiar, or those who kind of just want to know that all the people know about it, not just yourselves, is that the nice guy is almost kind of, there's almost like the idea that the nice guy is just a manipulative person that only does kind things out of wanting to get something
in return. Yeah,
something in return,
and then they complain if they don't get it.
You know, like
but a good guy wouldn't care for anything in return. A good guy is just good for the sake of being good.
For the sake of being good. I mean, like, you know, these women who are like, you guys, I'm a great guy. Why won't you be with me? I'm a nice guy.
Nice guy. Yeah, but
like
being a nice guy is not always enough. You know, you gotta also take care of yourself. You know, look good and be socially,
have something about you.
Intelligence, like intelligent.
Have something about you, of course.
Be an interesting person. You know, like. Say with girls too, like there's a lot of nice girls, but I'm not attracted to all of them, you know.
For sure.
You know?
No, but I think it's because of the whole kind of manipulation thing, and I mean, like, it's a lot of these American sitcoms that kind of portray that.
Yeah, it's really like 2.5 Men, for example. You have Charlie, who's the Chad, gets all the girls, and then you have Alan, who is like this super nice guy, but he's so weak. Like girls, like nobody respects him because he's a doormat.
Yeah,
there's many examples of that, you know, in many sitcoms, for example.
Yeah.
Comedies and stuff like that. But
it's funny because it's kind of cruel in a sense, because, you know, anyone who's just a nice person or a good person who just, you know, maybe he or she could be, I suppose we're talking more about men in this case, because we're probably going to mostly talk about dating as well.
Yeah.
Mostly involve other aspects of life.
We're not chasing dicks, we're chasing pussies. So we don't have.
Don't worry, dude. They don't need to know that. Oh, we could be confident, you know.
Yeah. We're very straight. Just so you know.
Yeah, we swear to God.
We're straight.
We swear to God.
Oh, sorry.
Don't touch me. They're gonna think the wrong thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, but I mean, I just think, because I just wanted to bring up a dating point as well, that like, essentially, like, you have two kind of groups. You have the kind of the red pill group, or kind of like the quote unquote alpha male dating kind of groups. Like, the nice guy always finished last and they suck and you're weak in your pussy. But then you also have the more kind of progressive, kind of almost condescending, kind of therapy kind of guys on YouTube who are kind of like, you know, you nice guys are just nice because you want to get laid. And women are autonomous beings. They don't need to explain anything to you. Like, there is one guy like that. Now, I think I'm sure he's a perfectly intelligent guy, and, like, I don't know enough about him, but I just happened to see one reel of his. I forget his name. I'll show it to you later. I'll see if I can find him for you and see what you think. And if I'm ever on this podcast again, I'll share it with you guys. If for anyone who knows, maybe he's kind of a chubby guy with a beard. He's an American guy, and he always kind of has a facial. He always face first, you know, on his and I think he always makes, you know, comments on kind of social commentary. And
does he have blue hair?
No, it's not Destiny.
Oh, it's not Destiny.
It's not Destiny. It's not Destiny. It's not Destiny.
You know Destiny.
No, it's not Destiny. But like, I just remember he was commenting on a guy. I think he was just. There's no context to these videos that they show half the time, but it was like this guy, maybe not the best looking person on the planet, maybe somewhat tallish. I don't know. I think he was trying to say, like, why is it not okay that I approached a girl? And the guy was like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm this, I'm that. You know, like, I don't want to talk to you. And look, fair enough. But then the guy who's making the commentary is like, a lot of young men have this issue that, they just won't accept that a girl doesn't want to talk to you. Now, on the surface, that's fine. What he's saying, absolutely. But then, he just says things that are so unnecessary. Like, she is an autonomous human being, She doesn't need to explain to you why you don't want to. I think he said something like this now. Why she doesn't want to talk to you. Absolutely agree. But just the tone of how he says it, as if the guy who is always approaching is always kind of somewhat a bad person.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But the woman is always this autonomous human being.
Uh-huh.
It's just, there's no need for this kind of, you're a bad guy for doing that.
Mm.
And it's always confusing because I kind of see where he's coming from, but there's a sort of a condescending, kind of passive-aggressive tone to his voice as well.
Mm.
And now I didn't watch the full thing, but I'm going to watch it again because I actually followed the channel because I wanted to see if I could just kind of get more into it, and see what he actually has to say before I kind of make a judgment. But he was saying, guys, you just need to accept and walk away. Absolutely. Like, no, and then he said, which is another good point, no guy kind of there's no point kind of saying how good a guy you are if they don't want you. That's absolutely fine.
Mm.
But I think instead of just being like, she's an autonomous human being, you just need to walk away because this guy is quite a feminist as well.
Mm.
Why not? Because look, and I think it boils down to one thing, and I'll explain what that is. But instead of, why don't you say, listen, guys, in kind of a kind, respectful, understanding way, look, guys, I know you want to date. I know you crave female interaction. But just try and remember, also for your own sake, don't try and seek a justification of why they don't want to. Just accept they don't want to and just move on, because it's going to, if you keep on asking questions yourself why this is happening or why she didn't want to, it's going to affect your mental health. It's like he's not actually considering the guy. He's saying, yeah, you shouldn't do this because it's not good, but it's more just kind of like, he's always I get the sense he's the kind of guy who's always overly defending the female perspective.
Yeah.
While not giving a shit about the male perspective at all. I'm not even saying what he's saying is bad, but it's just, I feel he could try to be more understanding. It's not that they're doing it out of malice, Why they want it, why won't you?
I think that I talked to girls about this.
Yeah.
Some girls who, I talked to them, and some girls just, for some reason, see every guy as creeps or toxic or trash or something. There was one girl I had a conversation. She's a self-declared man-hater.
Yeah, I remember the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Let's not mention any names. But anyways, but the thing is, like I told her, most guys, they just want to reach out, and they just want to reach out and they just want to, maybe get your attention.
I make a connection, hopefully. I mean,
I think
we do. Most guys do crave
connection. Like, and some guys, they struggle and they come off as a bit creepy, But most guys just want the connection, and some people do it better than others.
For sure, absolutely.
Certainly, if you are a handsome guy and you might say the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a handsome guy and you have a little bit of charm, then suddenly it's charming.
Yeah,
but if you are a not good looking guy and you say you're a bit like shy and awkward and stuff, then suddenly you're a creep.
Yeah.
So like a lot of girls have this. I feel like a lot of girls have this really bad opinions about men in recent times, like people our age.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly because they got hurt before.
Yeah, and also things like social media probably hasn't helped either. And I mean,
I think I think a lot of these girls have these fucked up algorithms on their TikToks and Instagram, just like we do. Just they have opposite. Maybe they have like these kind of female advocates who is like, "You're a boss bitch. You're a boss bitch.
Yeah, it's not great.
You should be independent.
Slay.
Fuck every man.
It's,
slay.
It's
Yeah. I think that's also a problem. And
well,
then
obviously,
it causes division.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, it's harmless, but it's insufferable.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it could be harmful in some ways, actually. I mean, look, I haven't dealt with it that much.
Mm.
I mean, there are definitely some women who kind of like, yeah, it's definitely pretty hard for some guys, but which is good, which is nice. I mean, I'm not saying, like you don't have to validate someone's feelings or like agree with someone if you don't want to. So if there's a girl who's not interested in these issues, that's absolutely fine as well.
Yeah.
But at least I'm just saying it was interesting seeing that there are, like, even this girl that I was working with in France was like, yeah, this seems to be pretty hard for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So, and she would know because she actually dated someone who was disabled as well.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get back to this dude. I was thinking this like when I was waiting for you, actually. And I just want to clarify, I need to just make a disclaimer that I don't know that much about this individual. So I'm just making just kind of a conclusion from what I've seen so far. The reason why he wouldn't try to be understanding towards the male perspective is ultimately I think he proclaims himself a male feminist, and ultimately he just wants to make content. He doesn't actually give a shit about the issue itself.
No, about men.
Yeah, exactly. Or just actually improving relationships, not between men and women, because I mean, I hate this idea that there's kind of like men here, women here.
Yeah.
It's more complex than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of men who have a lot of issues because of, maybe their looks, maybe their awkwardness, probably a bit of both. If they're not good looking, they become socially awkward, or if they're socially awkward, but even good looking to a certain degree, they struggle as well. Maybe less so. It just depends on the situation, but like certain kind of men basically are struggling, and essentially like that doesn't seem to be acknowledged sometimes, from what I understand.
Yeah, I know.
I can see.
It is, yeah, and it's like, yeah, I feel like, again, nobody really tries to understand the men. Like society doesn't really try to understand men, why men act certain ways. It's always bad. It's always everything men do is bad, It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the impression I get sometimes, especially from media, of course. I mean, though, of course, in the reality, I mean, things are...
you have this trends with like this icks. Have you ever heard about this? Yeah, that's an ick.
It seems to
You're
be more...
breathing air. That's an ick.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in terms of the icks. Now, I don't think... I mean, I haven't seen that many guys that I know of, or even guys on the internet.
I think a lot of girls have...
It's mostly an ick. It's mostly... It seems to be
a lot of girls have very shallow expectations of men. Very shallow expectations. So, so it's like everything is an ick, and it's strange. Guys don't really have the same.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I suppose if you're just... I think for a lot of dudes, including myself, if we find you attractive, if you're a nice person, you're easy to talk to, you're easy to be with, I think most of the time we're happy.
Guys, yeah. Yeah, we happy usually with what we got. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and that is actually one thing that people don't talk about. The truth is, I mean, a lot of guys are just happy with what they get as well, which is kind of a bitter pill to swallow. But
it's true. I would say, guys, definitely.
It's a bitter pill to swallow, but
I think guys settle more easily than girls, maybe.
Yeah, definitely now. I mean, it's kind of funny because I think
girls settle more when they're older, though, 30 something. Then they might settle more.
Yeah, potentially. Because I mean,
so
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You.
Now, on the flip side, I hate. Now, there's definitely a lot of bullshit that happens when it kind of comes to a lot of kind of red pillars and black pillars. It's more red pillars that actually go by this kind of hitting the wall thing. I hate that notion. I hate men who chastise women who haven't had children.
Yeah.
And are maybe feeling lonely about it, or are trying to have children. Like, especially among conservatives, you may find they'll kind of criticize a woman in their mid to late 30s who's trying to date, who wants children, has that aspiration for herself. And they're just kind of like, oh, do you not realize you've hit the wall? Why you can't have kids now? You're old. Your eggs are
gone. Don't even try.
You fucking arseholes. I mean, and then you're wondering why some of these women are so sad and so depressed because, okay, first of all, they may be struggling to find someone for whatever reason because the guys are arseholes that they're trying to get. They don't like them, or maybe they just have certain certain issues within their head that they just can't get around it. They just struggle with the date, but they actually want the date, but maybe they just do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, especially I wouldn't fault any woman who wants to have children, even if she's in her 40s, because it is possible.
Yeah.
Disclaimer: I know it isn't necessarily. I know it isn't necessary. I know it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But then again, that's just the way the world is now. I think it's unfair. The world has so many problems. I think it's unfair when someone actually tries to have a solution and tries to aspire to something, just shoot them down because your political message is, you must be married by the time you're 18 and have 5 kids, otherwise,
What the fuck? It's kind of like some people go back to conservatism. It's like people want to go back to the old days. In many ways now, it's like the pendulum is swinging. Yeah, we've been so liberal for many years. like
Yeah.
90s, 2000s, it's just become more and more liberal,
Mm.
and then kind of we hit this point where now it's cool to be conservative now. Or
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily see it that way. I mean, I think that's just one thing that really upsets me, because I mean, you see it in like some people would almost make they'd almost pity this woman, and then
yeah, I know.
for their own,
No, it's
the one
pretty sad. Like I mean, so yeah, some women just haven't found the right partner,
I mean, they kind of
So,
laugh at the. Sorry,
yeah.
they kind of laugh at the woman who's in their 40s and 50s who's single and maybe has a lot of issues and things like
Yeah,
that. That's
I
just
see.
is cruel, man.
Yeah, and also I also don't like to hate the single mom skit,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
because like maybe the guy is an asshole, like maybe the guy left them,
Mhm.
and the woman maybe she loved the guy and they wanted to.
No, that's not possible. Women don't love men. They can't.
They can't.
They can't.
They just respect men. How do you? They don't love him.
We're just units for them. All
We're
that
just a
shit.
wallet for them. No, but so I really think that's stupid. Single moms deserve more respect.
For sure.
They basically they work the whole life for like single mom has a very difficult life. That they work, with the job, and then in addition to that they take care of the kid, and there's no person else or another person that can like cut them some slack. They have to like do everything themselves.
And I suppose also regarding kind of women having children younger. I mean, of course. I mean, I think some people act like women in their 20s don't have kids anymore. That's not true. They do.
Yeah, they do.
But I mean, especially if there are people in their 20s who still marry and have kids. So I mean, it's not like it doesn't exist anymore. But I mean, like, I understand some people get irritated by the thing, like, oh, you can do whatever you want, and like you can do this, you can be anything. But I suppose they're just living life as they've been shown they could do it or how they should do it.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's nothing wrong with waiting for a partner, that you feel suits your interests. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being selective as long as you're fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Selective as long as you're fair.
Yeah, and I suppose if you don't treat people like shit, which in fairness they don't.
Mm.
But I don't know. I know that was a bit incoherent, but I'm just there's thoughts in my head that I'm trying to get out.
Trying to get out. But what do you think about the feminist movement? Is it harming society, or is it good for society, or is it good for dating, bad for dating?
Well, it's not particularly good for dating, you could argue.
No.
And I mean, like, yeah, overall, I wouldn't say it's the best thing for society. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I know I have strong views.
Yeah.
But I also want to show that I can try. I also try to see the other perspective. I mean, it is good that obviously it's a good thing that you can make your own money and as a woman be successful. All right, but I suppose like anything comes at a price. And I suppose people who are proponents of feminism, like for example, that women getting more money and having their own autonomy means that they'll be more selective in dating. They'll be like, okay, yeah, fine. There's going to be incels. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. That's collateral damage. But it is still damage, even if you don't consider it's important.
Yeah, it's still a damage. Yeah, it's still
to a certain degree. I mean, there's always going to be incels at one point or another. There's always going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of the. Yeah, I mean, how was it back in days? Like everyone just got married at a young age.
That's literally what I think. That is one thing.
Like in 1800s or 1900s, everyone just got married.
Most people just got married,
so nobody was lonely, basically, in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people were not lonely. Well, now you have a bunch of people who are lonely and never experiences love, maybe. Never experiences a relationship with the opposite gender.
True.
Yeah.
And yet, overall, I would still probably rather live in this society than
back in the days.
That's one thing that
I don't want to have a family right now. Like, I don't want to have kids right now and all that. But fuck, I'm 25.
I'm 27. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we obviously could have children if things. I know you're in a relationship now. No, that's only been a week old.
Shut the fuck.
But well, it's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it's true.
yeah, I mean,
we're moving fast. I'm an effective guy. What do you think about this type of things? Do you think it's good to? I've always been very effective with relationships.
Affectionate or effective?
No, effective.
Effective.
And affectionate, obviously. Yeah. But it's like I know when I love a girl. I know when I'm in love, and I'm like, yeah, let's be together.
No, I
me,
mean,
it's just
I've-
very clear. Like, because I've been with many girls throughout my life, you know. Most girls is just like, yeah, it's a nice time, but I don't really think about you that much.
Ouch.
That's pretty hard, isn't it?
That's
but then I've meet some girls here and there, so it's just like, damn, I think about you all the time.
Wow.
So so it has to be like
Yeah, I mean, look.
my intuition says this girl, you know, is good.
Yeah.
This girl is not good for you.
No, I mean, of course. I mean, what I can say is, look, the truth is, in my life, I've been a very late bloomer
Yeah,
in a lot of respects. I mean, I'm not going to go into it necessarily. I mean, I have been on dates.
yeah,
I lost my virginity quite a bit older than the average person, but even before I lost my virginity, I have been on a couple of dates, and yeah, I mean, look, they were always good. I mean, they were always fun, but I suppose things just didn't work out. I mean, the first few dates I had were normally just casual anyway. I really only started dating in my early 20s.
yeah.
And then it was my mid-20s. I had my first proper relationship now. That, you know, honestly, it was good in many ways, that relationship. She was a wonderful person,
Yeah,
a beautiful person in many ways, and I feel like she deserved better. And I think she has.
no, you're the best, bro. How can she deserve better when you're the best?
Ah, come on. Let's be humble here.
Let's be humble.
Let's speak from the heart.
You're too humble, man.
You know, but I do feel, because, you know, I was a late bloomer, there was a lot of anxiety around that. And I felt like, even though I wasn't sure how much I actually felt this girl was right for me or how attracted I even was to her, I just felt like, no, I had to be in a relationship because I needed the experience.
Yeah.
And here's the truth. When I was in France, I mean, obviously there were some very lovely girls I was around. And, you know, I really got on with them socially. It was great. But there was always this thought in the back of my head, right, that, oh, you know, if we didn't hang out or if we didn't go the way I wanted, it was fine because I had a girlfriend anyway. There was kind of a security net.
Yeah. No, having a
you-
girlfriend is a superpower, actually.
Yeah, in a sense.
In a way, as a man, I think it's a superpower because you feel indestructible.
You feel indestructible, yeah, because you had that. And when you tell girls you have a girlfriend, especially if, you know, and it always works if, you know, you find them attractive, they feel safe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. I mean, that's not I mean, I always mentioned that I had a girlfriend anyway, just so you know, it just kind of established that, you know, I wasn't going to be, you know, messing around, even though there were sometimes
Yeah, I know.
temptations as well.
Yeah, you got automatically a bit more respect if you have a girlfriend. I feel.
But just to clarify, sometimes, you know, you'd be tempted to flirt or, you know, maybe meet up or something like that. But if they said no or if they couldn't, you didn't feel as bad because, like, oh, well, I have a girlfriend anyway. It's kind of like the psychological thing I had. I know it's a bit odd, but that's just how I felt at the time. It's just the truth. I'm telling the truth here.
Yeah, no. And when I go out there in the city now, I don't care about results. As I said, you know, I told earlier about when I was single, you know.
Yeah.
I don't care about that whole aspect of flirting and all that. It's just, you know, doesn't matter anymore, right? So I managed to have a really good time with my homies. So, like last time we were out on Thursday, it was a good time, man. Good
fun.
night.
That was a good night. That was
I had a
fun.
lovely night,
That
you
was
know.
really fun.
And that's also because I thought, these girls doesn't matter.
Yeah, you see,
Now,
I was different though.
Yeah, you were different. You were on the grind.
No, I mean, even when I had a relationship, to be quite honest.
Oh yeah,
with you.
okay.
You know, I was always tempted to date. Like, there was always especially when I was long distance, obviously, because my relationship was long distance as
There's
well.
something about, oh man, I hate long distance, bro. I really hope I don't have to be in a long distance relationship again.
No, I mean, I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again.
I've been in so many long distance stuff because I've just been unlucky, man. Like, I'm finally happy that I managed to get a girl in the same city. You know?
Yeah.
So, no, it's, I've been always very unlucky. I think I've been in long distance like fucking 1, 2, 3, at least 3 times.
No, I mean, I sort of actually had a long distance fling with a Kenyan girl, actually, who I still talk to. It's funny. But yeah, I mean, regarding this woman, I mean, look, she had her issues as well. I mean, she was. All right, look, I'll say it. She was married before, actually.
Oh,
you know
shit.
yourself. Yeah. And
Shit.
that's all I'll say. But I mean, you know, sometimes I found it difficult, you know, dealing with her as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I tried to be I feel like I tried to be a good boyfriend, but I think sometimes at the back of my head, and I feel kind of guilty about it, was I just doing it performatively? Because I know I cared about her deeply in many ways, and I loved her, and you know, like you know, there was attraction there as well. But in the end, I just felt like it wouldn't work out in the long term.
Yeah, I see with the kitty.
No, with
What Oh yeah. Okay,
You know.
with your ex
Mm.
girlfriend. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, so but you were together for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
And I mean, I was always quite guilty because it was me who initiated the breakup, more or less. I mean, it was kind of in such a pathetic way I did it, to be honest. It was not
I see.
great, you know.
No, I mean, yeah, it's being the guy who breaks up. It's actually harder than to be dumped, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's on you, you know.
Mm.
It's on you. It's you know, you have to make a strong decision. When you get dumped, it kind of just happens to you, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it sucks. I got dumped, but you know, I couldn't do anything about it anyways. You know.
Yeah. No, I mean,
But I mean, it's sometimes you gotta do it. Sometimes you gotta break up. Sometimes you gotta be dumped. You know, that's how life is. And
but I mean, I have my resentments as well. I mean,
gotta follow your intuition sometimes. You know.
yeah. But regarding that relationship, I do have my resentments as well. I mean, she'd say, you know, oh, you know, it would suck without you because she always kind of felt that it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of somewhat in a subconscious way kind of agreed that it probably wasn't going to be long term, but I just felt I should try because look, in many ways she was my
Speak into the microphone, please.
in many ways she was my rock in some ways, you know. She really was kind of emotional, moral support. And I mean, I know that's like, oh, you only dated her for that. That's why are people in relationships?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on,
You know?
yeah. There's also selfish reasons why people are in relationships.
Of course, I mean, for fuck's sake.
Like, yeah, it's because you know you like a person, and it's nice to have someone who's there for you all the time. You know,
Of course, and someone who cares about you, so you say
Yeah.
you're so adorable, you know, you're my favorite, things like that.
Yeah.
But I
Like,
suppose she kinda-
as a single man, like you don't
Yeah, you
don't get
that.
any affection.
You get your freedom, but you don't get that. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, you get freedom, but you have no affection.
Yeah, and I mean,
So and also like a life without romance is pretty boring in my opinion.
no, it is.
It is. I love having romance in my life, you know, because you.
And then knowing your homies about it as well.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Tell the crowd about that.
Oh, look, I'm happy for him, but it was an absolute nightmare as well. Like, I did this.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
What should I call her? I'll call her Girl X instead.
Okay. Well, that was a
That's
bit
not
too
her name.
late, but okay.
Bit
Yeah.
too late. That's not
Yeah,
right.
just say that. Yeah.
So maybe we can actually mute that.
Yeah, we can cut it out.
Yeah, cut that out.
Okay. Yeah.
Cut that out.
Uh,
And yeah, so I mean, you know, Girl X this, Girl X that, you know, and I'm like, okay, bro. Can you just let me look at the buildings, please? Can you just
Yeah.
let me look at all the electric cars, please?
The whole trip to Oslo, man. The whole trip to Oslo and from Oslo was like that because we just recently decided to be a couple. So I'm like a fucking 2-year-old now. It's like I'm like excited. It's like Christmas.
Yeah, for real.
Christmas every day now, you know.
I mean, I have my little obsession as well, but we won't go into that because we won't name names. But
No, yeah, that's like, yeah, it's crazy, like how love or like being in love can turn a 25-year-old guy into a little kid, you know.
yeah, I know it's mad, isn't it? But what was I saying? I mean, regarding my ex, I mean, she kind of say things like, you know, it sucks. I don't know what I'd do without you. It sucks because she had a lot of other personal tragedies as well. You know, some relatives of hers have passed away, so
Oh shit.
you know she's an only child and things
That's
like
sad.
that. But hell, lo and behold, I see on on social media 6 months later that she's seeing a guy. That's a good thing.
Oh.
But a part of it was kind of resentful. It's like, you know, you said all this crap to me about how you wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, how wouldn't that? And I felt guilty. And you look at it, lo and behold, 6 months later. Okay, it was 6 months later. Of course, 8 months later, you have a new guy.
Yeah, well,
Come on. I mean, why put me through that?
I don't know. Maybe she wasn't honest enough. I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to hurt your feelings or something. She made up an
I wasn't
excuse.
expecting her to announce anything.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Or maybe, you know, love is kind of weird, you know. Maybe she just met a guy that she was really into, you know, and she just couldn't handle herself.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that's a
That could
bad
also
thing.
be a
It was just a
reason.
thought I had. I know it's not the best thought,
Yeah.
but it's just what I was thinking. I mean,
we get it right. I mean, we get thoughts all the time, you know. It's about an ego, you know. Our ego get hurts, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't actually. My ego was maybe.
We all have egos, bro.
But sure, I mean, it wasn't that. Maybe a little bit bruised, but I mean, I was happy for her as well
You were actually, yeah.
to a certain degree.
Shit, then you're more mature than me. I'm never happy for my exes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, I want my exes to have good lives and all that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not interested if they get a new guy or something.
Yeah, no, I get you, of course.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah.
spoken to her a few times anyway, so it's not like we're on bad terms. We're just on not speaking terms,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I see. Well, what do you think about the whole thing about having exes as friends? Is that smart?
Probably not. I mean, it's overall probably not the best thing I can imagine.
No, it's not, because you can never manage to get over them.
Yeah, you can never manage to get over them, but also, you know, it could just cause some
Well, you
conflict.
can get over
It
them,
depends on
but-
how long you've been broken up, I guess, you know, if you feel
There's
you
a lot of
can.
nuances in this shit, but
There's
I mean,
nuance,
if you,
exactly, yeah.
yeah, I guess if both have moved on, then you can be friends. In my opinion,
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, you can be, and but if you still have feelings, it's not smart,
Of course.
because the wound will never heal
Mhm.
if you keep on communicating with your ex.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it's hard to move on too. You know, it's hard to
Mhm.
open yourself for another person. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what they say, when one door closes, another
No
door
one
opens.
And it's true. I mean, yeah,
Mm.
I've definitely seen that myself.
Mm.
And there is, you know, it's. I mean, I was single most of my life anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was always just going back to the.
But how do you
the norm.
feel being single? Like, what is your feeling when you're single?
It's actually not. You know, it's fun in some
Yeah.
ways. You know, I like the freedom.
Mm.
Of course, you're not worried about being late for something, or
Mm.
if you don't feel like doing something with someone, you don't have to do it.
Mm.
So there are perks.
Definitely. I mean, there's
course.
pros. There's pros. But I don't know. In my opinion, when I was single, it was fun to have freedom. You know, freedom, and
So I put my glass on.
it's pretty chill. You know, there's no drama. As a
Mhm.
single person, there's no drama. It's very
Mhm.
chill.
Yeah.
It's peaceful.
Yeah.
In many ways. But at the same time, it was boring,
Mm.
in my opinion. Like yeah, it's exciting to meet new girls, for example, and sleep around a little bit, and you know, it's exciting, but it's not. It gets boring too.
Yeah.
And especially if you're not that keen on the girls, either way.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, of course.
And also, yeah, I felt like always this kind of like this weird ass void inside of me, you know,
Mm.
kind of like this loneliness in me.
Yeah, I mean, I get that a little
that
bit
I
as
don't
well.
have
Yeah.
when I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, even if relationships have challenges too, you know, like you know, sometimes you get angry maybe on your partner, or
Mm.
you get irritated, but it's still worth it, in my opinion, because it's still you feel the love, you know, you feel the love.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of I'd agree with you almost on a lot of that as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes feel lonely as well, but I think the loneliness comes out more, especially if I'm having a bad day. Like if I was having a bad day at work
Mm.
and things like that, I'd be like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have someone to talk to?
Mm.
You know, that's just how I was. Otherwise, you know, I managed quite well. And I mean, some doors had opened. I mean, I was dating someone a few times. It just didn't go that well. I think she just felt we were, you know, we're compatible. Whatever that means.
We're
But
compatible, yeah.
and I saw another person, you know, it would, it like, I mean, also, I just didn't have as much time to date anyway because I was working 40 hours a week, you know. I mean, look, some people say, oh, you know, that's an excuse, but it's just a practical fact.
Yeah.
If you're single and you're working 40 hours a week, unless, you know, you're constantly swiping and,
Mm.
you know, or just downloading, or if, you know, someone likes you and, or you want to date someone at work,
Mm.
you know, it is definitely harder.
Yeah. I always find it challenging to date someone, to find someone at work or school, for example. I never really. I mean, I did have some partners because when I was in what's it called, ungdomsskole in Norway.
Yeah.
Which is basically when you're like 13 to 16.
Mhm.
You know that type of
Yeah.
middle school.
Yeah,
I don't know,
middle
yeah.
school, yeah.
But after that, usually the girls I've met are through different places.
Mm.
In the city.
Mhm.
That's where I met most of my girls, definitely. And no, dating apps has never worked for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get some dates from dating apps, but it's never been anything more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be
It's
the
kind
same.
of been very underwhelming. with the dating apps.
So you've never had any relationships from a dating app?
No.
Funny enough, I did. I mean, I met my ex-girlfriend from in Bumble.
Bumble, yeah. Bumble is interesting because then the girl has to send the message first.
Right.
So then you know that she really wants you. She picks you.
Mm.
Yeah, I also use Bumble. I got one date from that.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I say? It's sought out there for a pimp. No, but the strange thing is, people always like look down on when you meet girls in the club, for example.
Mm.
But you know, I don't see that as a problem. I mean, I've
It's
gotten,
not a problem if it works.
Yeah, like I've gotten fucking, you know, one of my exes who I met in the club and we were together for like 3 years. So so it's just a way of meeting people. Like, it shouldn't be a problem where you meet. It's just a way of meeting. But it's rare. It's very rare you go to a fucking cafe and you just see a girl and you go talking with a girl like that.
That's true. Yeah, it's rare.
That shit just happens in the movies. It seems like.
Yeah, no, for real.
Mm.
Or even at parties. I mean, parties is pretty good way to meet people as well.
Yeah, parties. Yeah, actually,
probably better actually. Much
house
better.
Parties are
House
actually
parties
pretty good. Yeah, because then it's also like friend of a friend.
Exactly, and you're just having normal conversations and you hit it off and things like that.
Yeah. Well, in the club it's just like you're hot. I'm gonna try and get you.
Yeah.
But in the party it's more like it's more authentic. Yeah, that's right. In a house party or something like that. Yeah, Norway has a lot of house parties.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, you noticed. Yeah.
That was fun.
Definitely, because we have the pre-parties.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to use money on alcohol in the city because it's so expensive. It's a very practical reason, but it's fun, you know. It's fun, and then we also always have the drinking games. You notice that?
Oh, I like that. That was fun.
Yeah. Do you have that in Ireland now?
Oh, we have drinking games, of course. Slightly different, maybe.
I can't remember we had it in Ireland.
I did a drinking game once when I was 20. I didn't drink, but that was a bit of a nightmare. That part.
That's because Norwegians struggle to be social. Bro. That's kind of how we Norwegians get warmed up with some drinks and the drinking game, and then eventually we get tired of the drinking game, and then we start communicating with each other. You know,
that was entertaining. I do remember like one of the questions was who would give the best lap dance, and one of the girls there was like, I'd say it's you.
Ben, they loved you, bro. They gave you so many times. Especially the alcohol questions.
Yeah.
When it was
the Irish guy.
It's probably the Irish guy. Like, who here will drink a bottle of vodka?
And one time I was like, not me. I remember I said that once.
Yeah. But you don't drink that much. That's the irony.
No, I really don't.
You don't really drink that much.
I don't really.
And you're Irish.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah.
I've never seen you like drunk.
You never will.
You never will. No.
I don't plan on that.
Have you seen me drunk?
I think I might have once or twice.
In Ireland?
Maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, New Year 2020.
2020.
New Year 2020. That's the best New Year Eve ever, bro.
I didn't like that New Year's at all. I don't know why.
Why not? Was it a bad experience?
Yeah, bad experience. So I won't go to one.
Two guys, two different experiences.
That's the thing.
Crazy.
That's the thing about life.
We experience the same life, but with different lenses.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Remember that, guys.
Remember that. It's crazy. What if we're like all one consciousness and we're just experiencing things?
Well, that's just not. Well, no. Okay. Now that yeah, sure. We are one conscious in a sense, perhaps. We experience
just experiences through different bodies and sensations. Yeah, there's a theory about this. I don't know what it's called, but it's called like the one consciousness theory or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's basically that everything is the same consciousness. Me, you, a pig, a cat.
Yeah.
A rock.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far now, Jesus. I mean, maybe amongst humans, yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be interesting. So that means that you shouldn't hurt each other because then you're hurting yourself.
We're already too late for that. I mean, look how much chicken and meat we eat. Like.
Oh, yeah, fuck, man. I ate McDonald's yesterday. That was nice.
Yeah, I had eggs this morning. That was nice.
With eggs in the morning, bro. I make him eggs.
He makes good eggs.
Thank you. He says, go make me eggs, bitch. And I tell him, go make me coffee, bitch.
And then I was like, wash the dishes, bitch. And you were like, oh, that reminds you of the time I worked in that restaurant. I love that.
It's like Family Guy. It's like Family. Remember that time when I worked at a restaurant because of the flashback thing, you know? Yeah, and I said, I used to be called, I was working as a dishwasher for a restaurant called Egon when I was 17, and they really bullied me at work. Yeah. The chefs were like, you fucking retard. You're so slow. Wash faster, retard. Like, tell me all these names, really bad names.
I'm surprised it would have been funnier if they actually called you bitch, though.
Yeah, I think they call
Wash
me
that dish, bitch.
Wash that dish, bitch. And I was just a cute 17-year-old with a bunch of fucking, I don't know, ex-prison people and high school dropouts and
Yeah, for real. Like.
older guys.
Unlucky.
You know, just talking shit to me. Like, in a way, that was kind of like a wake-up call to reality.
Mm.
So even if I hated that time, I really hated that job so much.
It woke you up
because
to
of
reality.
because of the colleagues, you know, because of the coworkers. But it kind of woke me up to reality, you know, that even bullying can happen as a grown-up too. Like, it's not just in bullying is not just in elementary school. You know? There's many ways of bullying too. I've experienced bullying there. I've experienced different type of bullying from other jobs, where it's more of a like freezingness. It might not be direct
Coldness.
bullying. It's like coldness, like
Yeah.
I feel like you don't like me, and you're talking shit about me behind my back.
Oh, I've had that too.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had that too. Yeah.
So it's just different ways, you know. And I feel like, you know, men and women do it different type of ways. You know, the women do it more like the freezing out, being cold,
Brutal. Yeah. That's
Passive
worse in
aggressive.
some ways.
passive aggressiveness, while the men are just like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Like, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I feel like I could. I don't know. I feel like I might be able to handle that better, actually, the way the men do it.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean,
yeah,
no-
because the thing about that is that if someone calls you an idiot, you just call them idiot back.
Yeah.
It's very like concrete, right?
Mm.
But if someone is passive aggressive, you know, it's more of like the tone of the voice, and you can't really tell anything, and you can't really defend yourself.
Because you're like, you know, can you know? Go, sorry.
For example, let's say if you get in a problem with someone, they have a bad tone against you, and then you go to your, and then the boss is like, well, what's going on? Why are you mad at this person? And then you say, well, she told me to clean up. Well, aren't you supposed to clean up? Yeah. But she was like,
Could you clean
can
up?
you clean up? Aren't you gonna clean up? You know?
Yeah.
It's different between saying that, aren't you gonna clean up? Then can you please clean up?
Yeah, of course.
It's two different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's harder to like attack back. And then if let's say if you smack back, you're like, "Why? Just ask you to clean up. What's the big deal?"
Yeah, I do remember one of my colleagues. She was the team leader of at the Actor Service for a while, but then she drove me bloody mad. She was like, oh man, she was a pain to work with.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I was always patient with them mostly. But I do remember like 3 weeks ago, I lost my temper with her because basically she was trying to. Basically, I've been dealing with a lady who wanted a refund. And it just so happens the day after she was talking to the same person while I was in the office, because I was just, I don't know, I was zoned out doing something or I was doing something else. And I was like, oh, is that person you were talking to? She was like, why didn't you, like, she was like, why didn't you just say anything when I was actually on the phone and just kind of keep hiring me? So I was like, I actually shouted at her. I was like, yeah, you know, I didn't know. I actually wasn't. I was doing something else. I would have actually, like, I didn't realize I'm actually trying to help now. And she was like, as if like it was the most unreasonable way to respond ever. She kind of like, she was like this. Don't use that tone. And I was like, well, yeah, don't talk to me like as if I don't give a crap and I'm not listening, that I wasn't actually, I was just making you do the work just for the sake of it. I didn't hear. And then the asshole just goes, well, just call her back. And I was like, yeah, I will. Fine. You know?
Damn.
But you know what's funny? I think she almost enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with some of these very passive aggressive people. They almost like it when you break.
Yeah, they like it. Yeah. That's why you should, just stay stoic, bro.
Well, I don't know.
But it's hard.
I don't know.
If you have a bad day, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, okay, stay stoic, but I think people also take advantage. I think, you know, these people aren't stupid. They know there's probably a lot of guys who are like, no, you got to have a stiff upper lip. Sometimes I feel like even it may, like, I did overreact a little, but I also was kind of like, you know, I actually need to show this person that I can actually bare teeth if I want to.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You got to clap back, you know.
Yeah, I can actually bare my teeth if I want to.
Yeah, like stand up for yourself and, you know, that's true. Yeah, I mean, usually I'm just very direct. I'm like, I feel like you don't like me. I can sense that. I say that.
Yeah, you see, I'd be too proud to say that. I'd be like, because I'd be afraid to come across as like, oh, why don't you like me? You know?
No, yeah, I know. The best thing to say is like, yeah, I feel like you don't like me, but if you're gonna work together, I don't care. You gotta you gotta behave with respect. You can say something like that.
No, you're right, actually.
Yeah, you should say something like that, because then you're being, what's it called? You're not playing fire with fire. You're playing water on fire.
That's brilliant. No, absolutely.
So, because the thing is, if you play fire with fire, people can easily misunderstand you. They think that maybe you're the problem because you're the one who claps back. And usually when people clap back, they clap back harder
Yeah.
because they're annoyed.
Yeah.
So then it looks like from the outside perspective that you are the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back with water and you just burn it out,
Mm.
then you're seen as the bigger guy.
I like him. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean,
so-
it's always good to strive to be the bigger person, you know.
Yeah, so just say like, look, I'm tired of your passive aggressiveness. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, of course.
I see I'm not stupid. Say something like that. I'm not stupid. I see what you're doing. And if we're gonna work together, then you have to stop with this.
Yeah.
Because if not, then I'm not going to communicate with you at all. Or something like that.
Yeah, for
You
real. I
say
mean,
something
that's the
like
thing.
that.
Sometimes I didn't communicate with her because I was like, you know, and I was like, you know, it's just going to make a problem out of nothing,
Yeah.
you know, and most of the times it was fine, but once or twice it was a bit of a mess up. But
But like,
it
I'm the
was
worst
resolved.
person to give this advice because I always fight fire with fire.
No.
I really sure
maybe
because I'm hot-headed, you know. I'm hot-headed.
No, I mean, but it's
I think
interesting to listen to
I
what
got
you
it
say.
from my childhood, man. It's like I've been bullied as a kid and a lot of drama with my father and shit, you know,
When I was bullied as a kid as well.
with alcohol
you know.
problems and all that. So because of this, I've always, you know, fire has always been inside of me, you know, because I always felt like I had to fight. So even as a grown up where everything is kind of chill,
Mhm.
sometimes the fire wakes up.
No, fair enough. I remember you.
Like,
I remember you telling me something.
Yeah,
like
you
that,
remember I even had a fight with my teacher.
Yeah,
for
I
some
remember
months
that, yeah, I
ago,
remember
like,
telling me that, yeah.
and that was over some really, what's he say, small shit, you know.
Yeah, but you resolved that with him, and he.
Yeah, we
likes you
resolved
now.
it though. That's cool. But still,
That's
though, I still get the fire sometimes. You know, that's just something I got to work with. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I have a certain amount of anger inside me because I feel like, you know, I don't stand up for myself, and when I should, sometimes I do, but I mean, and then there are times when I actually do lose it. Now, it's rare enough. I mean, I was bullied a bit as a kid as well, you know, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
I was bullied badly. Well, I mean,
Not me either. I was just like, kind of, how can I say, always a victim, but not like it didn't affect me that much though, to be
no,
honest.
same here.
Or I don't feel like it affected me. Maybe it did more than I thought,
That's true. I mean, you don't know.
like subconsciously.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I think it has affected me subconsciously a little bit, you know, in terms of, how do I put it? Maybe a little bit in terms of confidence and self-esteem, but not that much anymore as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
But it's still somewhat at the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
it is. I think the self-esteem part definitely. I feel sometimes I always feel like the little chubby kid, even if I'm muscular and cool. You know,
Yeah,
I still always feel like a little chubby kid sometimes. You know,
yeah.
that I was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you look at you, man. You're a big guy, strong guy. You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose maybe that's, I mean, I started working it since I was 16, so I've been doing it for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take it that seriously anymore anyway. I mean, I never did take it that seriously because my diet has always been a bit off, not off, but like not what it should be if you
Yeah.
really want to hit that kind of peak crop, even as a natural.
Yeah, me too. No, I love me some bad food
Mackie
sometimes.
D's.
Mackie
D's,
I'm more of a
yeah.
Burger King guy though,
I
to
like,
be
no,
honest.
I've started, my dad loves Burger King, and I started eating some Burger King, and it is very good. to be
Burger
fair.
King is awesome.
It is very good, but
Mhm.
yeah. So I suppose another thing that I've really been kind of fascinated about with Norway, and I was very excited to see this actually,
Yeah.
was all the electric cars on the road.
You and their cars. He's been talking about cars all the time.
That is absolute nonsense.
No.
No, I have not.
That's so true. Ever since he first came here.
I don't talk about
Cars.
cars in general. If I see a car, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't go around saying, so, you know, cars are like really cool and I love them. And, you know, I drive them all the time and they're really awesome and they're really cool. No, I suppose for you Norwegians out there, I mean, like, it is quite fascinating seeing all the electric vehicles on your roads. Now, Ireland is actually they're getting popular as well, but the concentration definitely is true because I was excited to see this because I wanted to see how true it was. And it is, like I said, there are a lot of electric vehicles, but there's also a lot of hybrids, combustion engines as well. But I can see when they say that like nearly 40% of new EV sales are EVs, you can see it on the roads. I'd actually love to know if somebody in the comments, if you have comments on this. No, you don't have comments. do you?
Yeah, I mean, this is on YouTube, so yeah, people can comment.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you just say like, what's the percentage of like in Sweden and Denmark and Finland? Because I know they're also very environmentally focused as well, even though EVs aren't necessarily that good for the environment. There's a whole debate about that. But
the problem is, and also if the mining for the minerals to make the battery is pretty harmful. The way the people get treated is pretty bad. Like they treat, like in countries in Africa, treat them really bad, the miners, and stuff like that. So that's not nice. At least the oil is made by rich countries that treat their workers pretty well. At least in Norway.
In Norway,
maybe not in Saudi Arabia and stuff.
Saudi Arabia or
but at least in Norway. Norway, the oil people are treated very, very good. Too good, in my opinion.
Sure, remember we met that guy.
Good.
We met that guy.
Yeah, man, this guy, he came to Kristiansand on the airport and he started talking with this random guy, like 50-something years old guy, and he started being friends with him.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just randomly took him with him to the bar.
But he was like, I want to come. So I was like, you know, okay, sure.
Yeah.
You know,
that was
why
fun.
not?
I mean, it was fun. It was like,
he was a lovely guy.
Yeah, one beer with us, and we talked about stuff, and he left.
But he also, that's what, like, he knew his boundaries as well. He was kind of like, you know, okay, look, I better go and let him be with his friend, and you know,
yeah, he knew it. You can see it.
That's cool.
He's a cool guy.
And but yeah, I mean, speaking of that, but also I think what was exciting was I saw brands, Chinese brands more specifically, that we don't have yet in Ireland. Now we do have like BYD, which you guys probably know quite well if you're interested in cars. That's a Chinese brand. And then also I saw a brand called Fisker. I don't know if you guys have, if any of you guys have heard of that. It's an American brand, I believe. It's a big, massive electric SUV. I loved it. And I was very excited. And there's Hongqi as well, which is cool.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, and that's it.
Cool, man.
That's it.
Yeah, man. I heard that do you have belief in Chinese cars?
No, I mean, look, some people say they're pieces of crap. I mean, they look very nice.
Yeah.
They look very fancy and everything like that. I mean, you remember that car you thought was a Porsche?
Yeah.
It was an X-Bang. That's a Chinese car.
It was a Porsche. This is, no, it's just that, I mean, I can have a Chinese backpack, you know. If it breaks, it doesn't matter. It's just a backpack.
Yeah.
But having a Chinese car, I'm not so sure about that, man.
Get just, I mean, you can look at, if once you get your license, you can look at Kias, Hyundais.
Yeah, I'd rather Korean, go for
Japanese.
For the German, Japanese, and
Skoda. Skoda's a very good brand.
Koreans, yeah. I'd rather go for those cars. Definitely. Not the French and not the Italians. Except for Ferrari, because I like Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, having a Ferrari.
It looks good. It's very nice. Beautiful.
Personally, I like SUVs, guys. I mean, there's a whole thing in the car enthusiast kind of community that you're not really supposed to like SUVs. I don't know why. I like big things. I like big animals. I like big machines.
And big booties.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Most people do, I think, you know.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, yeah.
I like all sorts of booties.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, as long as they're not flat. Yeah. Now we're getting out of hand there.
Yeah, for real. No, it's okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, man. So we went from cars to this, man. That's me and Aaron.
No, I mean
for me and Aaron.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And also I was very obsessed with the whole kind of winter tires thing.
Yeah.
Don't know why. It's very specific to me. It's just an oddity I have. I am quite eccentric in many ways, as you could probably tell from this podcast.
Yeah, he gets obsessed with things like it. They had a period where he was obsessed with stars.
I mean, I still like stars.
It's
beautiful.
We're just walking on the street and it's like, oh yeah, there's Jupiter. Nice.
That's a planet.
It's a star too.
It's a planet.
A planet is also a star, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay. In fairness, for Jupiter, it was actually meant to be a star at some point, I think. No, it was like in the evolutionary phase of being so small star, but then it wasn't.
I'm not a science guy. I'm a social studies type of guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's YouTube, man. You can watch these videos. You don't need to actually be a scientist, actually like certain aspects of science.
Oh, you should always stay educated.
Yeah, of course. Stay educated, boys.
Stay educated, boys.
Boys and girls, stay educated.
Yeah, man. I know we've been talking for like 2 hours now.
2 hours?
Yeah, man.
Seriously.
That's great.
Seriously.
Is there anything else you want to talk about or you want to wrap it up?
Good question. What kind of... I suppose we could talk about... this is just off the fly. We could talk about the movie industry a little bit and the trends in the movie industry. I mean, what do you guys... I don't know, like if any of you guys will write in the comments. I mean, I've started sometimes watching these YouTube videos, like, you know, channels like The Critical Drinker that kind of give out about kind of how woke politics has kind of infiltrated a lot of Marvel movies and cinema in general, and kind of all the kind of the quote unquote leftist politics has kind of infected the movie industry. What do you think of that, mate?
I think it's ridiculous why you gotta mix race into this. The thing is that it actually becomes racist when you are so obsessed with race. That's the
one way you
irony.
can look at it, absolutely.
That's the irony of it, you know. So it's like these movies who try to, like Marvel, who tries to be like super including, are actually excluding because they're so obsessed over. We have to have a black guy here. We have to have a woman here. We have to have a gay guy here. You know, like it gets forced, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's ridiculous. You can't just have a black guy for the sake of a black guy, or it has to be based on the acting. You know, like if the acting is good, if the character fits the actor, it has to be those type of measurements.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, there's also like this is a real thing with Disney, kind of remaking old classics as well. Like The Lion. I mean, like, and one complaint is that, you know, they want to make animals, for example, like the Little Mermaid and the Lion King, look realistic, but it actually takes away from the actual expression of the characters. And
the worst example, I don't know what movie it was. It was a movie about Medusa. Cleopatra.
Oh yes, I know.
And Cleopatra is Greek, right?
Yeah, she was meant to be of Greek origin. Yes.
Yes, and they were supposed to have her black.
Yeah, no, they had her black.
Yeah, they had her black. Yeah,
that's right.
The actress is black, but it's actually Greek.
Yeah.
And there's no black. I don't know. No Greeks are black.
Yeah,
black
I mean,
in those days at least.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, in the Roman Empire, there were the Nubians who were black, who were African.
But she was white. Like that's right.
Yeah, from what we understand. Yeah, I mean, she was probably
more
sallow skinned.
So that's very strange. And I saw this like movie posters, like people made fun of it.
Yeah.
And they made like a movie poster of Hitler who's black.
Oh, yes.
For example.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. No, there was also, sorry to interrupt, there was also, there was a spin-off of Vikings. There was a series called Vikings, which is very popular. Now they've made a sequel to that. And actually one of the Jarls is black.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Which doesn't make sense. Cause
no. Yeah,
Nordics.
The Nordics, yeah. And what else was there?
But I mean, I personally don't have a big problem with it, actually. Like, as long as the acting is good.
Yeah, sure. If the acting is good, but I suppose if I suppose some people kind of talk about authenticity of historical movies. Now, most historical movies aren't authentic anyway. Like this new Napoleon movie is meant to be rubbish. So
I never see it. Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it though. I want to see it. The Napoleon movie.
Do you want to see it tonight?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
why not? I mean, we ain't got that much shit.
We'll make a movie review for you.
Yeah. Make a movie review.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're also gonna hit the gym because we chads.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, if you have time. But I mean, I'd rather see the movie, to be honest.
What time is it now?
Now it's
6 o'clock.
6. Yeah, well, let's check when it goes. You know?
All right. So do you want to wrap it up?
All right. Can you just do a Nord Dublin action?
All right. Yeah, we'll wrap it up there now. You know, this is how some people in Dublin talk. You know, this is all right. The stereotype writes a North Dublin accent. It's more of a working class Dublin accent. You bollocks. These Norwegians are a bunch of bollocks. Go look that up, you fucking cunts. I'm not here to fucking tell you what I'm saying, you know. I'm just saying what I'm saying, you pricks.
Can you do Conor McGregor?
How does he talk again? It's like,
welcome to Era.
you do nothing. You do nothing, you fucking prick. He's something along those lines.
That's awesome.
For all the non-native English speakers here, I would have what's considered a posh Dublin accent. Well, no, it is posh. It's a very posh Dublin accent.
South Dublin.
South Dublin accent.
I lived in his hood. Okay?
Yeah, he lived in my hood, and he understands it very well.
Sandyford represent.
Yeah, now I live in Esker. I'm a Wicklow man now.
Yeah, now he's a nature man.
Nature man. That's
Look at him. He's growing out his beard.
That was more for Norway, actually. I mean, I'll tell you Norwegians are laughing at me because, like, why? What a pussy. Why does he need to grow his beard?
It's not a real beard. No, it's really nice. I love it.
Oh, yeah. That was nice and soothing. Yeah. Thank you.
We have a special relationship with me and this guy.
Yeah, we do.
It's no gay shit though. We just homies. We're just bros. I just want to make that clear.
Look, they can figure that out for themselves.
Okay, I guess so.
It's like as my mum would say, he doth protest too much.
What does that mean?
It's like if you kind of say, "Oh no, I'm not gay. I'm not this." What did you say? I'm gay? Do people think I'm gay? What? You know,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, bro.
It's like you become more guilty. Like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
hilarious. That's hilarious. No, yeah. No, I think, yeah. It's been really cool to have you here, Aaron, on this
No,
podcast.
actually, it's been a pleasure. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And I feel very famous right now, but
yeah.
I know I'm just a normal person.
No, you're not normal.
I'm not gonna-
You're not normal, bro. You're not normal.
All right. Thank you. Well, I suppose, yeah, I mean, who wants to be normal anyway?
Yeah,
But,
nobody wants to be normal. I mean, a lot of people do want to be normal, unfortunately,
I
but
just-
it's boring to be normal. You want to be special, you know? You want to be cool.
Yeah.
You want to be interesting.
No, I mean, I was looking forward to this as well. It was nice. I just felt, but I felt when I talked, I mean, I just wanted to try to be as honest as possible as well.
Yeah, you're pretty honest. I mean, you even went into your fucking love history, so yeah, you're pretty honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good podcast.
I even named my managers. I mean, maybe we should cut that out.
Oh, okay. I'll ask you then to fix it.
Well, I mean, they probably won't see it. I mean, I don't know.
That'd be so funny, though.
It would be funny, but I wouldn't want to upset them either. Just in
Nah, I
case they're
see,
like,
I see. No, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay, man.
all right, look, guys.
All right.
Go ahead first.
No, you go first.
Look, for everyone from Norway, anyone who's watching this abroad, look, thanks for listening. I hope you found it interesting. It's the first time I've ever done something like this. I've listened to some podcasts, so it's kind of interesting being on the other side. I know he told me a while back he had this podcast, and it was kind of lame. I was like, "Oh, can I have this? Can I join this podcast?" But then we'd forgotten about it. Then he mentioned, and I was like, "Aha! Now I feel less bad." But no, really, it was a pleasure talking to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed.
Perfect opportunity. You know?
Yeah. I hope you found something useful or interesting what I said. If not, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's fine. Doesn't have to be.
Nice, man. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, man. This guy's awesome too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for coming on this podcast.
My pleasure.
Yeah, man. And hope you guys enjoyed it.
Shake a hand.
Yeah, bro. We the boys.
We the boys.
Holla, holla.
Either go to the gym or moves now. Talk to you, okay?
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Peace.
Peace.